the bell rung, you already been subscribed. Right now, the queen, she on live. Right now. Please pull over the whip, no phoning when you drive. Dope Soul Sporting with the talk. First lady from New York, Brooklyn. All my people, you rocking with the chat. Hit that. The like button would tell me where you at. You know, step from the NBK. Born and raised up NBK. Hey, real lady, where she holding it down. No matter way how you feel, she gon' greet you with a smile.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Oh, sister, it's time you
That's
shine. Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
What?
Dope Soul.
What?
Your soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Salute, Knick family. Welcome to the channel. Dope Soul Sports Talk, Dope Soul Knicks Talk, a member of the NBK family. Welcome to the Just Knickin' It weekly show. And as always, we got a lot to talk about. Knicks have only had one game since the All-Star break. We're going to go over that. We'll talk about if there's any concerns about Hartenstein playing less than 15 minutes. We'll talk about the rotations, which I like the way Thibs, mixed and matched, really able to see the flexibility that's available to us in terms of rotations. We'll talk about Brunson. What's his ceiling? Can he be the best player on the championship team? Have the Knicks and the front office built the right team around him? Does he need a little more to be successful? Can he be even better? Like, what's his ceiling? And then we're going to talk about Thibodeau. Can we win a championship with him? Is he on the clock? What we want to see from him going down the stretch into the playoffs. So, and the phone lines will be open, if I don't forget. The phone lines will be open. All right. Let's bring in Jerrell, Delusional, and I dropped the link. We have room on the panel tonight. So if anybody want to hop on, please do so. I'll drop it again later. And also, see that QR code in the upper right-hand corner? You can buy me a cup of coffee. For those that don't know, open the camera app, put it right up against it. Click on that link, buy me a coffee. Hello, fellas. How you doing? Salute to the chat, by the way.
Yeah, salute to the chat. Delusional, Steph, my Knicks family. What's going on?
I'm good.
Oh, feeling good. Definitely feeling good.
Yeah, this is a really good time to be a Knicks fan.
Yeah, especially after a win.
Especially after a win. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't content creating during that 17, win season. Thank goodness. I don't know how the content creators got through it. The Knicks were on the upswing when I started, when I started content creating. Anyway, let's just start with, before we get into Brunson and Thibs, let's just start with the one game the Knicks have played since we've returned from the All-Star break, which was the game last night against the Philadelphia 76ers in Philly without Joel Embiid, who may be out, I don't know, through March, whatever. Not our concern. Just your general thoughts on the game and how the Knicks look. We were still without OG and Julius Randle, but Bogdanovich was back. DiVincenzo was back. Somebody else, Hartenstein, was back, though he only played limited minutes. Just your thoughts on last night's game. Jerrell, we'll start with you, and then we'll get to Delusional.
All right. Last night, it was a good game, mainly because a lot of people stepped up. Like Brunson obviously didn't have his best game. I think he had damn near 10 turnovers. I forgot how many he had, but it wasn't 10, but it had to at least be 7 or 8 turnovers. He had a lot of assists, but a lot of, Dante DiVincenzo chipped in, Precious Achiuwa chipped in big with a double-double. Josh Hart chipped in big with another double-double. Like, we had a good supporting cast, and it proved that we're a very deep team, especially when we get our guys back. Like, you didn't even mention Mitch.
Right.
When you said
right.
Like, I know that they were missing MB, who was a huge piece for them, obviously, but yeah, we're still missing a lot of guys too. So it kind of proved that we're a very good basketball team. They tried to shut us down and smack us in the mouth in the third quarter, but we held on, and it was a good win. Everybody played pretty well on a struggling night by Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, I agree with that. Delusional?
Yeah, no, that was the key point. Post All-Star break for Julius from Brunson, and he didn't come out as the Brunson like we used to, in a sense. He started out pretty strong, but then of course that second half came out a little stiff. But the overall team kind of stepped up with Bogey giving you 6 for 6, which I kind of expect from him. Certain spots, you got Dante DiVincenzo on one wing, and then you have Bogey on another wing. That's going to be scary with the spacing when you actually have Julius there and Brunson on at the top of the key. So it's like pick your poison when we are 100% healthy. So just watching that game, Deuce coming in the fourth quarter to shut down Maxey when Maxey went on a tear. So we have certain situational guys, even with Hartenstein not playing a lot of minutes. You saw Sims coming in and Sims being crucial minutes, grabbing the 10 boards. And Precious, Precious is he's probably should have been my X factor from the last show that we did, because Precious is really showing out. It feels like with more confidence that the team sees with him, because Thibs could have all the confidence in the world to him, but if the team doesn't kind of feed him or put him in position, and his IQ is actually really, really smarter than what I thought, because at certain times with Brunson getting trapped, he could have came up to try to get the ball, but he got closer to the rim so that he can have that spacing and the clearing to get that ball to go to the racks. So overall, the thing is with Alec Burks playing 13 minutes now, I'm a little iffy with that. Let's see how Burks kind of take that. He go from being an instant heater with Detroit, but coming in here playing these spurts minutes. I want to see how that blend, but overall, I thought it was phenomenal. Josh actually looked like he got his legs under him, knocking down a 3-point shot. So it's pretty good. The fact that we did all of this with Brunson not playing to that, that superstar level that we see from his percentage wise, but thought it was a great game.
Yeah, I did. I did too. A lot of players stepped up for us, and I like the way Thibs. We'll talk about Thibs more in depth, in his segment. But I like the way he deployed the rotations. I like the way, there was times when he was 4 out around Achua. Hart was at the 4, McBride, Brunson, and DiVincenzo was in there. There was times when Achua was Sims was at the 5, Achua at the 4, and Bogey was the 3. And the next thing you know, Bogey is the 4 with with Achua at the 5. So the versatility and the flexibility of this roster is great. But I think what's even more important in the Philly game, and hopefully as it continues, is how Thibodeau deployed the flexibility. Like utilized the roster. And we'll talk about this more later. You can still play 9 and be flexible, because who that 9 is can change, from game to game. We may see players getting time in the first half, but not getting time in the second half, depending on how, the game goes. To your point, Burks had 13 minutes. The next game he might have 25, depending on, depending on how it goes. McBride was able to come in, and I love this. And this is something that I was asking for even back to the Ntilikina days. Just bring a guy in situationally for a few minutes defensively, just to see. A lot of times when a guy is on a heater, sometimes they've already exploded, so to speak, and it doesn't really matter who you put on him at that point. It's just done. Right. But just to try it anyway. So to be able to deploy McBride that way, and then there may be a game where McBride doesn't even get off the bench when we're totally healthy. But I love that flexibility from Thibodeau. And I know I said on the ladies show, and shout out to BX Chris, Ebony from Nick of Time, Venture Sports Network, and Lady and the Chef, that I wasn't as concerned about his rotations as more as I was concerned about his offensive and defensive adjustments. But I'm going to take that back. I can't say I'm concerned about it, but there is a lot of potential there in roster adjustments depending on what's going on in the game and who you got out there. And this roster is such, we need more shooting. We can do that. We could put in Bogey, DiVincenzo, and Brunson. That's going to give you, good shooting. We need an all defensive team. We can put in, a McBride, Hart, Achua, Hartenstein. If Mitch is back, still, you still, even if you have a defensive unit, I feel you still got to have some scoring out there. Like you cannot go out there with the Bam Bam. For those who are interested, who are familiar with the Flintstones, you can't go out with the Bam Bam unit. Where they're gonna lock you down, but they can't score. But the flexibility is there, and hopefully, Thibs uses that. Anything else that stood out for you last player wise, offense, defense, coaching, rotations?
You said we was going to talk about Hartenstein, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'll say I wanted to say something.
Oh, this is the segment.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we need. I if it was me, I wouldn't play Isaiah Hartenstein until April.
Really?
Yeah, I think like with his injury, rest is the number one option for that. And him playing 10 minutes, you could tell he was hobbled. Yeah, I shut him down. I'm actually kind of upset that we played him last night. Like you could tell he wasn't himself. He played 11 minutes. He was the only starter, I think in the negative plus minus. And, he wasn't himself. So I want him healthy for the playoffs. And that should be the team's number one, priority right now.
I agree with that. I mean, I don't know if you saw Hartenstein's statement. He said that the issue is not that it'll pop. He said that the Achilles is strong. That's not a concern. It's just that there are times when it just flares up and it needs rest. But as far as the medical staff is concerned, the Achilles popping is not really an issue, but it's the flare up. He was cleared. I mean, if he's telling the truth, he was cleared for 20 minutes, and he's played less than that. And that may have just been Thibs in the rotations. Just this is what we need. We didn't need you for 20 minutes. We needed Achua, more than we needed you. And I'm telling you, if this is how Thibs is gonna do, I'm all for it, because he did it with Hartenstein and Mitch last year in the playoffs, but now he can do it at other positions as well.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. At first I was like, nah, if he's kind of cleared, let's get him out there to kind of, because his defensive presence was felt yesterday. You saw it was a lot of times that the guys went to the rack, and his presence alone, altered some shots. And then of course we out rebounded Philly, so those things, even though he only had 2, but it was one offensive, we'll take that. But yeah, my mindset need to not be on that 50-win season to get to that mark, to get to it. So it needs to really be on the guys being healthy. So yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, I agree, Sherman. I thought Sims was really good last night, really active, gave us some really good minutes, and this is what we need. I think we may not get that every night, but we needed it last night, and we got it last night. And this is what happens when you have so many options. If somebody is not playing well, they sit down. And then the next player, you see what you can get from them. But I thought Sims was, particularly in that first half, I thought he was, very active on the boards, giving us second chance, opportunities, doing what he does. We know what his ceiling is. But just do what you do. Be a star in your role. Whatever that role is, whatever it is that you do, come in and give us that. And Sims was able to do that last night, and McBride was able to do that last night. Mm-hmm. I did notice, though, when McBride and Burks was in together, McBride was playing off ball. Did anyone else notice that?
Yeah. Which I actually like.
Well, Thibs heard you. He said, and a lot of people don't feel that McBride, his handle wise, can get out of the press or break an off defense down. And we've seen at a time period, Burks just has that confidence when the ball is in his hands to kind of maneuver. And it makes sense because Deuce is shooting great threes, so he could come off of flares, space the floor as well by Brunson, while Alex Burke can attack. So. I like it. I love it. And
I like
Thibs, what they said, Thibs kind of prepared. So I can see him really setting that up on purpose. No, this is what we need because you can be here, you're here. This can help with the drive. So I can see that everything kind of being intentional going forward with the offense and the spacing.
Yeah, I agree. I like McBride off ball, and that doesn't mean I'm not talking about him like bringing the ball up the court sometimes, but I mean like initiating the offense. I definitely saw Burks in the pick and roll, and I saw McBride off ball, and I like McBride off ball because when he's in that lineup, we get that defense and we get that 3-point shooting, and those are his strengths right now. Play your players to their strengths.
Yeah.
That's his strength right now. He'll get better running a team, and when he gets better running a team, then he can be your, backup, playmaker behind Brunson. But for now, find a way to use him for what he does. And I thought, we were able to do that with him last night. Thoughts on Bojan? I know when there's been some conversations on this channel, and we still won't know until everyone is healthy. Was Thibs on point? Was Thibs on board with this move? If there is a 9-man rotation, is McBride in and actually Bojan out because his skill set is similar to Fournier, though better, but similar to Fournier. Some people didn't like Bojan. Oh, he was a cone. He can't defend. And thoughts on Bojan from not just last night, from what you've seen so far?
Well, I've always liked the move for us to get him. I think he could be a quick microwave off the bench on any given night. I actually said salute to Ron for still Knicks fans with the All-Star panel that he had on Saturday. We had a conversation about Bogey, and I said don't be surprised if he give us a 30-point game before the end of the season is up, coming off the bench. Like he can catch fire really, really quickly, and sometimes we just need that. He's not the best defender, but he's better than Fournier was, and I can already tell that Thibs trusts him more than he trusts Fournier. Just by that game last night, like he played 25 minutes, I think. Like he played very well, and he did exactly what I think he can do on any given night. Like sometimes he'll be off because he is a streaky shooter, but he's going to give us a 30-point game soon.
Yeah. And just to see him, he just knows how to play. He just knows how to play. He could put the ball on the floor. They were playing the zone. He went right to the foul line. They gave him the ball, and he turned around and shot it. That's it. It's not rocket science, but you got to have somebody in that spot that knows what to do. Either you're going to shoot it or, you can you could do something in that spot. He went right to the spot. They gave it the turnaround jumper. I said, look at this. The Knicks are good. The Knicks are good. It's just a matter of chemistry and coming together. But in terms of the roster and the players on it, you got the shooting, you got the defenders. I would like another ball handler, but I don't think it's bad. Burks can handle the ball. DiVincenzo can handle the ball. Bojan can handle the ball. Pressure's a little turned up in the playoffs, though. But so we shall see. Anything else? Delusional on Bojan?
Yeah, no, it's right now he's perfect for us. What we need while everyone is out and injured, like you stated that when everyone is back and healthy, what that role is going to be. And it would suck for him to kind of be out that rotation due to the fact that we have other capable players. And like you said, playoffs is a different animal. But what I like about Bogey, he's a veteran. He's been around on teams where he had to be the primary scorer, or he had to come off the bench. So he's a vet from that perspective. So I think that he would mesh perfect with us. Like you said, Thibs trusted him. He had over 20 plus minutes, 6 for 6 from the 3-point line with 3 steals. That Thibs, he could care less about the threes, but those about the 3-point shooting. Those 3 steals was very crucial in the passing lane. And his rebounding. So those are going to be crucial. Then, of course, when he had to back down, post up, fade. So that's showcasing what he can do in the ISO game. And that opens up a lot when you can have a back to the basket player. So Bogey is going to be crucial for this time period, while this is giving Julius more rest time. This is giving OG more rest time and giving us the opportunity to see what these other players got. So Bogey's good in my books. Like I said, we got another Steve Novak. All we need is the discount double check going forward, and we're good. But yeah, Bogey definitely get that man some minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I've said this many times. My concern going into the playoffs was not having, that bench scoring, and we got it now. Between Burks and Bojan, any one of them can score 20 points off the bench and more, and they don't need a lot of time to do it. So I just like that possibility coming off the bench.
And quickly, and I know what you just said, he only had 3 dribbles in that entire game.
Really?
3 dribbles, which was the post-up move.
Right.
Everything else was just in rhythm, catch and shoot. Like, that's perfect basketball. Why? Because it doesn't take away from the offense of Brunson still putting in work and Julius. So it's like that's easy buckets.
Right. Yeah. Oh, let's invite Spree in. Hey, Spree.
Spree, what's good, bro?
How you guys doing? How's everybody doing?
How are you?
Welcome.
I'm happy it's Friday night. The Knicks got back on the winning track. It's always a good feeling.
Yeah, for sure. What's your thoughts on last night's game?
I don't know. I felt it's just kind of nice when you have the ability to go from ahead like that early in the game. And like, I never felt, obviously, it got a little tight when it got to 8 and 10, but that's an NBA game. Teams make runs, but like, it's just nice that we can win in different ways. We don't always have to play catch up. So,
right. Yeah, for sure. Thoughts on the new guys, Burks and Bogey, and were you disappointed in that trade in the sense that Grimes went to Detroit?
I mean, I always defended Grimes. Like I still like Grimes. I was one of the people that said, yeah, he was tentative in the starting lineup, but he didn't have many opportunities. So I didn't always blame Grimes for everything that was wrong. I think Grimes can defend. I wanted him to do a little bit more. I thought there was always more available for him to put it on the floor and do things. But where the Knicks are at right now, it made sense, right? Like, it just made sense. We got rid of RJ. We got rid of Quickly. The team right now is trying to win and put as much talent on the floor with Brunson, and it fits the timeline of our team right now. So it made sense.
Yeah. And your thoughts on them and since they've been here?
I don't really freak out about what Alec Burks does in the regular season. We know what Alec Burks is, right? He's going to have games where, okay, he'll miss some shots, but Alec Burks, if he gets a wide open 3, most in a big moment, I'm confident Alec Burks will make the shot. He's a guy that can make some big shots. Like Bogdanovich, to me, Bogdanovich is very intriguing because you even saw it last night. There's a couple times where he can even he put it on the floor on one, did a little pop fadeaway. He also made a little turnaround jumper in the lane. He just looks so smooth when he shoots the basketball. And I just, again, the more shooting you can put around Jalen Brunson with how dynamic Jalen has looked, it's going to make it very hard. So I like both guys.
I like both guys as well. I know people hating on Burks. I see y'all in the chat. He not gonna get a lot of minutes. Nick Yak, Burks played point. Nick Yak, go back and look at the game. Burks was on the ball and McBride was off the ball. I'm not saying McBride never brought the ball up sometime, but when you look at our sets in terms of initiating sets, Burks was the one playing the point, and McBride was off ball for the most part. But you'll see in the playoffs. I think you'll see Burks' value, to your point, in the playoffs. Shout out to Phil Porto. The great show they had that I missed. Hopefully I'll get a chance to watch it on replay. My schedule is super hectic right now. They had Monica McNutt on the Knicks Morning Brew Crew or the Knicks Brew Crew. I always get it wrong. Everybody know who you guys are right now. Phil, Hector, I'm missing some Jigga Man. Appreciate you. And yes, my plan tomorrow is to be at Blarney Stone. So anybody coming to the watch party at the Knicks versus the Celtics, Blarney Stone in Manhattan, I will be there, and I would love to meet you guys. Me, BX Chris, another friend of mine. I think Ebony from Nickiton Venture Sports Network said she'll be there. So yeah, hopefully I'll get a chance to meet some of y'all from the chat. All right. Just the thoughts before we move on to Brunson and Thibodeau. Thoughts on a possible Knicks Philly playoff series. Knicks healthy, Philly healthy. So Embiid is back and Embiid is healthy. What's your thoughts on that matchup? How you feeling going into that matchup?
All right, I guess I'll start first. I saw that the Knicks, these 2 wins that we got against Philly this year at their home was the first since I want to say in over 10 or 15 years. So it's been a long time since we won 2 games in Philly. So to go against in a 4-game series with Philly, and I'm assuming Joel Embiid will be back, I feel very confident just by how we played against them this year. Even with Joel, you kind of spanked them by 30. And we always feared Embiid, and Giannis, those caliber players, those bigs, because we felt that we couldn't really contain them. And then, of course, with certain spacing on Philly, they would knock down the shot. But now it's just the confidence is very high with, Precious being able to guard multiple individuals. Hartenstein, Mitch will potentially be back. So we have 3 bigs that are able to play 3 different styles of play. So it's hard to really deal with that. Then, of course, all the players that we have, I don't want to go on a limb here, but that you could bring out brooms in certain series. I feel with the Knicks this series, this year. So that's just me. Maybe that's a delusional aspect, but
Calling for the sweep already.
We haven't even played one game together as a team. Right?
Did you guys see the video of Julius putting up shots today?
Yeah,
I saw it.
I'm just confident. Mitch out there selling vehicles now. I'm just confident. I'm confident.
Spree, you can go ahead, bro.
I mean, I agree. I don't really feel of the teams in the Eastern Conference that I'm worried about. I don't know. I just feel like the matchup is fine for me. Like I'm not worried. Obviously, they have talent. Like Maxey is a great player. Embiid, when healthy, is one of the best players in the NBA. You can feel like a rhythm when a team is able to play with somebody, and I don't think the Knicks fear Philly, and I think we have a lot of versatility that I think we can beat them. Like, I just think we can beat Philly. Like, that's not the team to me that scares me in a matchup that said the Knicks can't beat Philly in a series. I don't see that at all.
Right.
Yeah, they don't scare me at all. I'll be very confident against Philly, especially if we're fully healthy. I know one thing though, Joel Embiid needs to win. The clock is really ticking for him. Especially in Philly, there are rumblings of him leaving if they don't win. So he's definitely going to be focused if he is healthy enough to play. But I'm confident because if we are fully healthy, we can throw so many bodies at him. Like even OG, Precious, Mitch, iHeart. None of them can guard Embiid alone, but we could just throw so many bodies at him that I think we could definitely get him out of here in a 7-game series. I don't trust anybody on Philly besides Maxey. Other than Joel Embiid.
Yeah, I the Knicks beat Philly. I just don't. I would be really surprised if Philly won against the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like, yes, you have Embiid. B can give you 40. Maxey can give you 30. That's still just 70 points.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I just don't. That team is top heavy, and I just don't see where the rest of it is coming from. Tobias Harris is a nice player, don't get me wrong. Oubre is a nice player, don't get me wrong. I don't see the Knicks losing to Philly. As a matter of fact, I'm more concerned, and I know people say I ain't scared of nobody. It's not about being scared. It's about favorable matchups, unfavorable matchups. Who do you match up better with? Cleveland is more of a concern to me because of their balance, and they're not the same team we beat last year. So this is a team with rebounding, rim protection, shooting now, a star. So I'm more concerned about Cleveland than I am Philadelphia. I just don't think Philadelphia has it. They did bring in, and this does help them though. A matter of fact, you're right. They did bring in Lowry and Heald.
Yep.
So that does change things a little bit because I am thinking about them before Lowry and Heald. So that does change things a little bit because Lowry has that championship. He's just a dog.
Yeah,
That's true.
Talk about his lack of lateral quickness, and he's not the same. You could talk about all that if you want. Things grind to a halt in the playoffs, so they're gonna be right at Lowry speed anyway.
True.
That's true. So yeah. I think that does make Philly tougher. So I'll take that back. It might go 7, Jerrell. You're right. A sweep. You still see a sweep with Lowry and listen, Maxey is Maxey. I'm not, like I said, you can give him 30. I just, the Knicks have perimeter defenders, and this is the thing. OG, we're not expecting OG to shut Tatum down or Giannis, or if he's on Mac. Like, you can't, these stars in the league, you cannot shut them down.
Right.
So if we're thinking, we got OG, he going to hold Tatum to 18, 20. No, that ain't happening. What you want to do is just make sure they don't get above their average. If you could keep them at their average, below if you can, a little above is acceptable. But you don't want Tatum out there dropping 40 and 45 and 40. Like, that's the problem. But if he's getting his average, we good. So I like our perimeter defenders. So I'm really high on this Knicks team. If we have enough games together before, the playoffs. Anybody else?
No.
I ain't worried about Philly. I don't go to sleep at night worrying about that team. I'm worried. I mean, I respect them. Like, obviously, I respect the players. Like you said, it's not about scaredness. It's about matchups. That's what the playoffs is always about. It's just about matchups. Some teams match up good against some teams. Other teams, for whatever reason, they just don't match up well. So if we get Philly, okay, let's go.
Let's go. I feel the same way about Milwaukee. Go ahead, Jerrell.
I was going to say I'm more. I would be more concerned about the Pacers and the Magic than I would Philly.
Yeah.
Just because of the matchups, like you said.
Yeah. Well, don't get me wrong. Embiid is a beast.
Yeah, he is. That's why I had to bring up all the people we can throw at him, because none of them are going to be able to stop him alone in the playoffs.
No, not at all. Not at all. And the thing about him is he's not limited to the post.
Right.
Where he's playing in this limited space and you feel like you got a better chance because you can crowd him. He out there putting the ball between his legs, 2-3 dribbles for the pull-up mid-range. This guy is incredible. So with him, it's injuries, and he struggled in the playoffs as well. Philly has yet to, if I'm not mistaken, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, to get out of the second round into the Eastern Conference Finals.
You're right.
They haven't been able to do that. And Philly fans, and Jerrell can speak to this more, from what I understand, that's a knock on Embiid, questioning whether or not he can be that guy, whether or not he can elevate that team to the Eastern Conference Finals. I do wonder if a lot of times the critique goes to the top player, and a lot of times the roster is not assessed properly. Like, you have a good enough roster around him. I don't know, but that's going to be on his back, coming into the playoffs. Can he get them to the Eastern Conference Finals this time?
Yeah, that's a huge knock on him, just like it was a knock on Doc Rivers when he was there. Part of the reason he got fired. Remember they paid Tobias Harris instead of Jimmy Butler.
Yes.
Huge mistake on their part, even though Embiid wanted Jimmy to stay. So yeah, they are in like win now mode. Their window is closing really, really fast. And the fans know it too. They can feel it.
Yeah, for sure. Hit that like button. Ajay is not here to remind you guys. So I'm gonna do my best to do so. We got 94 people in the chat.
So then we gotta represent Adject. Everyone, come here. How many people do we got in the chat right now?
Right?
How many people? We got 80 people, guys. Now we at 90. Let's go. Only 10?
Right.
We should have 80 more likes right now. Come on, I'm disappointed.
Smash that Ajay button.
Right. We got 34 likes, 93 people. Appreciate you. Sherwin says the Knicks can beat anyone except Boston if we are healthy. I think we can even beat Boston.
Yeah, we can beat them too.
I wouldn't be shocked. Now, listen, I'm not going to argue with anybody who says Boston is the favorite. I'm not going to argue that. But I wouldn't be, forget shocked. I wouldn't even be surprised if the Knicks beat Boston. Boston doesn't really have a bench, so that means that their starters are going to be logging a lot of minutes in that in that series. So I like us against Boston. I would love that. The Knicks in Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals. Woo, woo.
Yeah, I gotta spend some tickets to go to the Garden for that, definitely.
Yeah. No doubt about it. All right, let's move on to talking about Brunson. What's Brunson's ceiling? He played very well for us last year. And on this show, we were like, how can Brunson improve? And I know for myself, it was hard for me to think of something because he was very efficient last year. He didn't turn the ball over last year. He was dominant in the playoffs for us, but he's gotten even better this season. What is Brunson's ceiling? Or another way to ask the question, can he get even better? Spree, we'll start with you.
Man, I think coming into this year with how great he was last year, and it wasn't that I didn't say he was a good passer last year, because he's a willing passer. Like, Brunson's not a selfish player at all. People that say that that's not a correct statement. He will give you the ball. He'll give up the ball if another guy's open. But what I wanted him better to do, and he got a better rhythm with Mitch later on in the year last year where he was finding guys for that alley-oop. I just wanted Brunson, again, the way those defenses are, you know how this works. He's going to be on the scouting report. He's the number one guy you stop. Just find your teammates, make it easy, find the open man, because that will even open it up for him more. He has the whole package with the scoring. And that was the one thing I wanted to see. And to me, I think he's been phenomenal. I think he's been phenomenal. All around play, passing the ball when he needs to pass it, scoring when it's time for him to score. I think his defense has actually been pretty good this year. I'm not saying every game he's played good defense. I think there's, I don't get me wrong. I ain't saying that, but I think he's done. I think he's done a better job on defense than people give him credit for.
Right.
I'd like to see at times. I feel like he's had a couple games where the turnovers, I think even last game, got a little too high, and that has to come down. But I think Jalen Brunson can do it all. But the 1A thing gets thrown around, and I don't want to spend time talking about that because I know everybody that's been it gets me upset. But I just
I want to hear it. What's been out there? Maybe I missed it.
Well, the Becky Hammond thing, he can't be the 1A guy, that he's too small. And I get her point. I'm not saying history has shown that other than Steph Curry, most of the guys that win are bigger players that are your 1A guy. And it's tough when you're that small, but I just think he's so smart as a player. He's got a high IQ that he's a good enough all-around player to do the right things. But obviously the team around him has to be solid. Like, I ain't saying it's just going to be Brunson out there doing his thing. That's just we can't win with just Brunson like he was in that Heat series where nobody was making shots. We're going to go home. So I think Brunson is a great player. What is he ranked in the NBA? I don't know. I think he's a top 20 player. And I think we can win a championship with this guy. That's my take on Jalen Brunson. He gives me hope.
Yeah. I mean, what I'll say to the Becky Hammond point is, before you can say you can't, like the small guards haven't won, just look at the roster. You know, did they have the roster that was championship worthy and they didn't win because their best player was small? Or was it just that they didn't have the roster wasn't good enough? And I've said this before, when we look back to that, what year was that with Allen Iverson and the 76ers? Was that 2001?
2001.
2001?
2001, I think.
I don't think they lost because Iverson was small. That roster was not good enough. He had to score 48 points for them to even get one game in that series. I mean, the Lakers were dominant.
Steph, are you saying Todd McCullough wasn't a superstar player?
No, he wasn't. So I just think that those are the lazy takes. You know, if you're going to say something like that, be able to say that you looked at those rosters and those rosters were championship rosters and they lost because their best player was small, then there's no argument. But I don't think that has been the case.
Well, I was going to say, when you say a ceiling, you mean like by the end of the season, like career ceiling?
Career ceiling. Can he get any better than he is right now?
Well, he's my point guard, Steph, so I think you should know the answer. So I'm gonna try to chill. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna try to keep it real cool, calm, and collective, because I really think that Brunson's ceiling could be like MVP. It all depends on how they do the roster. This is the first time in his career that it seems like the front office is building around him.
It took him long enough, but yeah,
that's a good point. That's fair.
Like that's huge for somebody's confidence alone, let alone his skill set. I think Brunson is, walking on clouds right now. Like, they're doing everything his way. All the players that we're bringing in here is to complement him. So we really can't see how good he can be until this roster is fully complete when it comes to the injuries, like bringing our guys back. But imagine how much pressure is off of him when OG and Randall come back. Like,
yeah,
I like, it's kind of hard to say what his ceiling is going to be or how he could even be better than he is now, but he definitely can. Like, the pressure that will be off of him in the playoffs compared to last season alone is I don't know, tenfold. Like, it's going to be kind of crazy. I can't wait.
Yeah, because you think about it, he was able to shine with inconsistent help last season. And when you look at this roster, you got the defense, you have the shooters, you have the rebounders. I think people underestimate, and Freezy was the one who, pulled my coattail to this, and this was back when the Randall Atlanta series, when I was like, Randall didn't show up. And he made a good point. The better players around you, the better you're able to play, because the more space you get to do what you do, and in that series, some of it was Randall like a deer in headlight. I remember some possessions, but some of it equally was not having people around you that can space the floor so that they couldn't crowd you, like Atlanta was crowding him. And so, to your point with Brunson, he's going to have all the space he needs in this playoffs, him and Randall, because you're going to have to choose. You're going to close out on these shooters or you're going to pack the paint. You're not going to be able to do both.
Right.
Yeah. Delusional, your thoughts on Brunson's ceiling?
I think Brunson has no ceiling. He's one of those players that whatever the Knicks need, whatever the situation calls for, he's going to provide. You can see the regular season, he has his level of what he plays as. He still give you solid numbers, great numbers. But then what happens when the playoff come? You see the elevation. We seen that with Kobe. You seen that with even Tatum takes it to the next level during the playoff time. And that's what everybody on TNT talks. What do you do with the playoffs? Even Shaq, I need to see that next level. We've seen that with Brunson. So I think that he's just going to evolve each year with whatever that team puts on the floor. He's going to put those solid pieces in and complete the game for us. So Brunson has no ceilings. Like, truly, if we need scoring, he's going to give you 40. He gave us 50. You need assists, he'll give you 12 assists. I don't know about the rebound aspect, but
Right.
he's going to
he
give
be
you
in there though.
Yes.
You see him, he be in there underneath the board. He ain't somebody that's out there waving a hand like, all right, when you get it, give it to me. He be down there.
So I truly believe that Brunson has no ceiling, which is why I'm very confident. And like you can see when he come out and start the game from that first jump shot, you can tell, oh, this is going to be a good night because it's confidence. It's easy buckets for this guy. Yes, he needs to rely on the team a lot more in certain aspects of the game. He tries to take it over with his scoring, but sometimes that's what we need. But yeah, no ceilings for Brunson.
Yeah, I'm gonna open the phone lines in this segment as well, so you guys will get a chance to call in and talk about Brunson's ceiling. When you think about the stars and superstars, and it's like when you say no ceiling, like do you see him in MVP conversation? Like do you see him on a Embiid, Joker, Giannis level? Because it's not that many superstars in this. Like to me, I feel like he's already on like a Tatum, whoever else the stars are in this league.
So for regular season MVP, I doubt Brunson would be in those categories because of the whole, popularity situation. Like even right now, they have Jokic as the number one. But if you compare his stats and record to what's the guy out in Dallas? Luka stats are better, their record are better. So while Luka is not, number one in MVP favorite, so it's a little weird. Even Tatum, number one record in the NBA, they're playing good. So so with that aspect, I don't leave it up to that. But if it comes down to we are in the Eastern Conference Finals and we potentially win, who you think is winning that trophy? That's going to be Brunson getting that trophy. If we even remotely get to a finals in a sense and play good, now this is hypothetical speaking, guys, and we win a championship, that's shot of a doubt that MVP is going to Brunson. So when it gets to those categories, he's going to get an MVP. It just might not be the regular season.
Fair point. Yeah. I mean, I remember when he first got here, we were like, at least me, I was like, he's a budding star. Oh, he's a star. Now we talking about superstardom, and there's some Knick fans who feel he's a superstar already. Let Geoff tell it. He's a superstar already. What has impressed you the most about him since he's been here? And this is just his second season. So I'm like, the Knicks are taking their time building around. Like this is just it's just his second season, though.
Right.
What's impressed you the most? Jerrell and then Spree and then Delusional.
Damn, that's a very good question because I always thought he was good. Maybe the way he handled the pressure coming over to the Knicks. But he's always been cool under pressure. Even when he was in high school, he won. Like everywhere he's went, he's won. So, trying to think what impresses me. Like Jalen Brunson is Jalen Brunson. It's just maybe the way that he's just been handling everything. He's been handling the stardom. I should say he's still even keel. He seemed like he doesn't get too high or too low. And I don't know, his personality is almost perfect for this city.
Yeah. Spree?
I couldn't have said it better. Yeah, I mean, everything you just said. The leadership has impressed me the most. Just like I didn't know what to expect as far as that standpoint. He is every interview is like, yeah, I'm playing well, we're playing well, but we got a lot of work to do. We can play
Right.
better. It's almost like Thibs is in his head at like 1:30 in the morning, calling him with Thibs quotes and says, "No, man, you haven't arrived yet." But he's humble. He's like you said, he doesn't get too high, he doesn't get too low. I would also just say his toughness. Like obviously, I saw some of that in Dallas, but like I don't know. There's something like I like point guards that aren't afraid to take charges, and he is to me. He is not afraid to take charge. Just the toughness piece, and even when he struggles and has like a bad moment, he comes back the next play. And all the great players in the NBA, you're a great player when you can do that. Like you have a couple bad moments in the game, but like it doesn't affect him. Like he keeps coming. And that you have to have that to be a great player, because you're not going to be perfect. Everybody's going to make mistakes. So I would just say I saw some of it in Dallas, but you don't really know until you give him the full-time gig, because this is his first opportunity to be the guy. I'm impressed with everything. It's a hard question because he's blown it out of the water.
Yeah. Delusional.
All right, so it's a lot of things that kind of impressed me regarding Jalen Brunson. First, I'm gonna throw out two stats. So I was looking at the NBA top 4 in total points. Jalen Brunson is the 4th. So this is including all the top scorers. Jalen Brunson, a 6'1" player that's giving you these numbers. Then, of course, his paint points. He is second in paint points average per game. I think he's around 18, and I think Giannis is like 18.6 or 19. So that alone tells you that this man is a problem. You know, his footwork, Black Dots just put up there, his footwork, playing off of 2 feet, post play. This is stuff that Kareem was teaching Amari. Kareem was teaching Kobe how to pivot and work on his footwork. And he got that, straight out of Nova and working with his father. And just his confidence alone. A big part of the game is confidence. You coming out knowing that you can knock down these shots, knowing that you can deal with any moment that's being brought to you. Teams are blitzing 3-4 guys in the paint. Brunson is squeezing through and getting layups through. And I'm like, that's someone that, we need on our team. So it's all the above. No ceiling Brunson.
No ceiling Brunson.
Also, I want to say the 3-point shooting. I think that's also too. Like obviously he shot it well. Like he's always like I think people have always underestimated his shooting, but I'll be honest, I'm even a little bit surprised at how well he shot the 3. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm hating, and I don't know everybody's thoughts on that. But I am a little bit surprised that every time he shoots now, I think it's going in. Like every time he's shooting a 3, I'm not worried that why is Jalen Brunson shooting a 3-point shot?
No, I agree.
Yeah. I think what's impressed me is his scoring. Just when you look at the stars, to me, what makes them stars is that you know what they're going to do, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. They're at the top of the scouting report every game in and game out. You're gearing your defenses toward them. You're putting your best players on them, and the only thing you can do is hope to contain them because you're not stopping them. And to see this guy, 6'1", so they say, strong, he's strong, but not fast, quick, but not fast. Be able to do what he does without the length of a KD, without the, or a Giannis or a Tatum. He doesn't have any of those physical attributes, but he's just as effective as those guys. It's just amazing. And when you watch him, like, because we've seen Tatum cook, you're like, oh my God. We've seen LeBron cook. We've seen KD cook. And to see little old Brunson cooking like they cook. It's just amazing. You're just sitting there like, wow, he plays for us. Like we got one. Like that's what's so impressive about him, that this is somebody he can score 18 in a row, 20 in a row, and he does it in the big spots. Because a lot of times you'll look at the box score, somebody got 30. Well, all right, when did they get it? He's getting it in the clutch. He's getting the baskets when we need them. They're closing in on our lead, or we need to close in, on the lead the other team has. He's amazing. Like that's what surprises me about him, is that package, physical package, or lack thereof, and what he's able to do. It is amazing. And I think that's what surprised me. I knew he was a winner. I was calling before even this channel. I was calling for him on Queen's Court. I knew he was a winner. I said the Knicks need a guy like that. I knew he can score, from watching, in Dallas, like, oh, wow, this guy can score. He can step up. This is a surprise. Like, he's a star. Like that's what's surprising to me about Brunson. Yeah. And it doesn't even matter. Help, like if he's going to have help in the playoffs, he'll be better. He didn't hardly have any help.
Yep.
Consistent help, I should say. RJ played well. There were games when RJ played well. There was, so I'm not going to say no one showed up, but he didn't have consistent help. It didn't bother him. It didn't bother him at all. So yeah, that's.
I think Brunson is all NBA caliber.
I think so. I think he's all NBA. Now, to your point about the MVP voting, will he get it? I mean, I don't know, but I think he's all NBA caliber for sure. Who's playing better than him?
No,
not many people.
Agree.
Not many people.
I agree.
There's not many people playing better than him.
It just depends on where they try to put Brunson. I'll probably have him, second team.
Yeah,
he's up there.
Yeah, for sure. Let me open the phone lines. Anybody want to call in about Brunson while we continue the conversation?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What's the improvement from last season? Like, what do you see different, if anything, about Brunson from last season, or do you just think it's just more of the same and that he's just the consistency of it?
Can I throw that? I mean,
Absolutely.
can I jump in that?
Absolutely.
So
yes,
the
no,
difference,
call comes in. I'll
yeah.
just have to cut you for the call. But
No,
yeah.
sounds good. Sounds good. I think the difference is him having his Nova guys. So it's the familiarity with those guys and the trust. Because remember, you coming in, a certain people, you can tell.
Call from
JJ.
Salute,
to
JJ.
accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Salute, JJ. How are you?
Salute. Happy Friday.
Yeah,
How's
what up,
everybody
JJ?
doing? What's going on? What up, bro?
We're doing good.
Salute,
Thanks for
man.
calling in. Thank you for your support. You've been
No
supporting
doubt.
ever since Queen's Court. I appreciate you.
Likewise, appreciate you guys as well, man. Absolutely.
What you got for us
No
today?
doubt. Yeah, man. I mean, the Brunson, I think what it is just, it's his footwork. Like, sometimes I watch it, I'm just like, how did he do that? Like, to me, the footwork is what separates him. It's pretty astonishing. It really is. You could put a big on him, doesn't matter. Small, doesn't matter. Length, at times, maybe length could get to him. The only guy that I've seen really shut down Brunson is on Minnesota. What's that kid's name? The long link McDaniels.
Yeah.
That
McDaniels,
was probably the
McDaniels.
best I've ever seen someone guard him, was McDaniels.
Yeah. What do you think his ceiling is?
Besides, top 8 in the league.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it could be even better than top 10. I mean, is there another level you can get to? I mean, it's pretty high right now, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if he stays like this, I'll be pretty happy, you know?
Yeah.
So I definitely, yeah, it's been pretty incredible, man. Like, how he's just transformed this whole franchise, man. He's a god. What could you say?
You're right.
You know?
Yeah, and I don't want to lose sight of Brunson. I mean Randall, who elevated the franchise when he came. He had us going in the right direction, and then Brunson just came, and the elevator went right to the top. You know.
Yep, exactly.
Anything?
Real quick, I wanted to. If it's okay, can I just make a couple comments on the game from last night?
Absolutely.
All right, cool. Yeah, man, I think that's a sign of a good team, man. When their top gun struggles, like Brunson did, the role players all stepped up. Hart had a big game offensively. DiVincenzo hit a couple of big threes, went in the fourth when, Philly was making it a little tight. Achua, another double-double. I mean, the role players stepped up. That's a great sign.
Yeah.
He said, hey, you don't have it tonight, and we got you. We got your back. Mm-hmm. So that's impressive. And one thing that really, really stood out to me, I got to give a ton of credit to Sims and Chua, man. The way the both of them defend on that perimeter, it's so impressive.
Yeah.
It's really like their footwork, especially Sims. There were a couple of plays. He was on Maxey on the perimeter, like, the 3-point line, and Maxey couldn't move. Mm-hmm. He's quick. His footwork is just really good out there, especially for big men, the both of them. It's the way they defend on the perimeter. It's really, really impressive, man. I was like, wow, that's some good stuff right there. Really good stuff.
For sure. And that adds to our flexibility to defend on the perimeter in terms of what we can do.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, appreciate you, JJ.
Yeah, appreciate it. That's pretty much all I got, man. You guys have a great weekend. Thanks for taking the call.
Of course.
Always a good call, bro.
You too as well.
Have a good weekend.
Thank you, brother. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thanks, guys. You too. Peace.
Yeah, shout out to JJ. I got him locked in my phone, so I knew it was him when he.
Oh, that's what's up.
When he called. Salute to Keith Turner. Appreciate you. Stafford.
Stafford, what's good, bro?
Not much, man. Just listening to the conversation, man. Shout out to the panel. Spree, long time, man. Long time.
Yes, sir.
Delusional as usual. Salute to I am Jerrell. Don't want to give my boy Sims no respect, but salute to JJ. Know what I mean? Salute. And no other. Big up to the queen. Always the queen. Shout out to the chat. What's going on, people?
We good. You want to weigh in on on Brunson? What's impressed you overall? What do you think his ceiling is?
I mean, Jalen Brunson is just a flat out leader, star, a role model, a winner. Everything that you're looking for in a person to lead your team. You know what I mean? Even if he was to be a speaker, he will be a good speaker and motivate you. You know what I mean? So the ceiling is, I don't even know what to put the ceiling, because he has won in high school. He's going to win it. He has won in college. Now it's just to put around the right pieces for him to win.
Right.
And I think it was Nick Yak, and Nick Yak said within 2 years. I'm right there with him. I'm probably saying within 2 years also. Between now and within 2 years, we could be hoisting up a trophy. You know what I mean? With Jalen Brunson's right there, and he might just be that A1 player to lead us there, and just have a bunch of shooters and supporting good role players around him. Yeah, so salute to Jalen, man. You know what I mean? The sky is just the limit for me. And I heard you earlier, like, we was talking about, is he a budding star, a star? And right now,
conversations.
Yeah, man, driving home in the Uber, just listening, Yeah, he has elevated his game to a star, man. And the next step, I guess, is superstar. And I believe he's already a all NBA player. You know, he's already in that tier already. So, you know, it's nothing but respect for Jalen Brunson, man. That's our point guard.
Any concerns going into the playoffs that he won't be able to duplicate his performance last year? No for me. But I'm just saying right off the bat, I don't have any concerns about Brunson in the playoffs. But does anyone have any concerns about his ability to duplicate his performance, or I should say, raise his level of play in the playoffs?
I think he's gonna raise his level. I think he's gonna raise his level, and he's gonna shock some people this year in the NBA. You know what I mean? So you know, it's gonna be another Eric Spoelstra talking about why is this guy not on the All-Star team? Why is this guy not on the All NBA team? It's gonna have a lot of coaches that it's already enamored with him already, and then he's just going to elevate his game in the playoffs. You know, I don't know if y'all been listening to some of these podcasts where they have him on the podcast, and the way how he talk about some of these coaches, the Carlisles and the other coaches, and how they adore him and how he works and his leadership, and he's just a dog. And you know what I mean? So I don't think there'll be no flaws, man. He's going to come out to prove something, because every time they doubt this young man, he always shuts them up. The Candace Parkers, the Beckys, and especially that boy from Brooklyn. What's his name? Mr. Kenny. Had us to go back on his word on what he said. Now all of a sudden, he is one of the best guys on the floor now. Now you switching your role now. Kenny, what it is either he is a C player or he is an A player. You got to make up your mind, Kenny. You got to make up your mind. And I'm glad you have come to see the light. Because all of a sudden you was talking about he's not the best player on the floor. Now you realize and talking about we are going to the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm glad you wake up. So, I mean...
Did he say we, like he was a Knicks fan, or he talking about we, the Knicks, are going?
We the Knicks fans.
Oh, okay.
But he said earlier in a statement that he don't think Jalen Brunson was one of the best players on the floor with other teams. Now he went on Stephen A. show and confessed to Stephen A. that he's right there with the best player on the floor. So, you know, yeah, I mean, it's no flaws in this game, and you know, and he just got to do his thing and prove these people wrong, man.
Yeah, no doubt. Salute, Pam. I think you're yeah. There was some sound in your background, so
what's up, family? How are you? I turned it on. I saw it.
Okay,
what's going on?
Okay. Yeah, there's some sound in your background. I didn't hear Marbury. Did anybody hear Marbury talk about Brunson? And I also missed Brunson talking about Thibodeau and that call he got. I put it in a separate window to watch, and I never got to it. When Thibs called him the morning he was after the Orlando game. But did anybody hear what Marbury said?
No, I didn't hear it.
I did. I mean, listen, I'm so jumped.
Why you didn't put it in the chat? Come on, you put everything else in the chat.
Now he's slipping. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy.
Right. Yeah, but look, all he could say is Brunson is a dog. You know what I mean? He's a bulldog. He's just bringing that magic back to the Mecca again, that way it's supposed to be. You know, and he just got a lot of respect for his game. You know what I mean? And that's typically it. There's no sugarcoating around it. He just loves the guy and just loves the energy that he's bringing back to New York. You know, it was nothing outrageous that he said. It just was love for New York. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay. And what did he say about the Thibodeau?
He
Call?
said he said I think right after the Orlando game, Thibs called him to ask him about the game, and watch video, and Brunson's like, yo, I'm getting ready to go to Indiana. And he's like, yo, but I'm getting ready to go to the All-Star game. So, you know, he was just saying that Thibodeau is just a junkie when it comes to basketball. It's no breaks with him, you know what I mean? And that's why one of the reasons why you see he loved Thibodeau so much. You know what I mean? He always has these guys prepared, you know what I mean? And it will never, the love for him will never fade because he grew up with Tom, you know, watching him when he was a kid, and Bronson was on the team, and he was and Thibodeau was assistant with what's his name?
Van Gundy.
Van Gundy. So you know, yeah, man, it was just funny to see the coach calling him to ask him if he was watching the videos, and he had to just tell him like, "Yo, I'm going to Indiana, man. I ain't got no time to watch no video." You know what I mean? So yeah, so shout out to Thibs, man. He funny as hell, man.
Right. Last question, and we'll start with you, Pam, before we move on to Thibodeau. Actually, is Brunson the best Knick since Patrick Ewing, or is it too soon to say so?
Well, for
And
me,
if he's not, who is?
well, for me, he's the best point guard that we've had since whoever. So I don't care. We've been looking for a point guard, and he's 25 and ain't no old man, because you know we used to get the old people in, you know, coming off of the, you know. I love Derek Harper, but he was old, you know. So I mean, if we had got him like a year late before, we would have won in the playoff, because you know that year, he was doing this thing. But he's the best. Brunson is the best point guard that we've had under 25. You know, not in his prime as of yet. So I'm cool.
Okay. Anybody else? Is he the best Knick since Patrick Ewing? And if not, who is?
He look. What y'all got? Cat ball in your tongue or something? Yes, he's the best player from since Patrick Ewing. What is there to? And it's not Sprewell Spree. So don't even go there.
No.
Don't even go there.
Look, I love Spree, but I think Jalen Brunson's the best player since Patrick Ewing.
Okay, there we go.
It's hard for me to say because I love Spree, but no, there's no comparison. Jalen Brunson to me is the best player we've had. I know people will take that as hate against other players. I'm just the way Jalen Brunson is playing right now. If he keeps this up for his long career with the Knicks, man, he's the best player we've had since Ewing. It's hard to argue with that.
Damn, so everybody think he leapfrogged Melo already.
Okay, Jerrell, if it got past you, I was gonna lose my mind. But okay, cool.
Quick and fast, real fast.
I'm gonna go with no. I don't think he leapfrogged Melo already. Melo has accomplished more in a Knicks uniform than Brunson has so far. I think it's a little bit too early for that. Not saying that he won't be. He probably will be better than Patrick Ewing. You never know. But I don't know if he just leapfrogged Melo just off a year and a half. Like, no, not yet. And that's, you know, look who's saying this. No, I'm saying
how many times he went to the playoffs with Melo?
Two.
Yeah.
And we lost in the second round.
Melo's best result was the second round.
Yeah, second round against the Pacers.
Lost. Against the Pacers.
Lost in 6.
And how long was Melo with us? 7 years?
Right. So
2
I'm counting
playoff appearances?
Yeah, but I'm also counting like what he did, like accomplishments, all-stars, led the league in scoring, top 5 in MVP voting that year, I believe. Like Melo accomplished something. It wasn't all bad years with Melo. Melo, the only time it was really bad is when our team was bad. And they didn't build around Melo like they should. Me personally, I don't think so. So I don't know.
No, I appreciate. Look, I appreciate it, and it's all respect. I think we all love Melo. I'm just saying the fact that we're having this conversation it just speaks to how great Jalen Brunson has been. Right? I mean, like the fact that we're talking like this. I mean, it's all love. I'm not trying to disrespect Melo with that conversation.
Delusional put the hat on for y'all.
Yeah.
I was like, did you know this segment was coming? Because you just brought that hat out.
He was really waiting for y'all to finish.
Man,
So I was like, let me jump in there real quick.
Right. Yeah, I mean, Melo was one of my favorite players to watch when he was here.
Yeah.
I'ma still say Brunson. If you told me right now I could choose between Brunson and Melo, I'm choosing Brunson. And I love Melo. When he got traded to Portland, I stayed up to watch him. Because his offensive bag is just sick.
Yeah, unmatched.
Sick.
Like,
I mean, this guy, but the burner.
Now, if Jerrell, I agree with you with the accolades. Now, if you want to say accolades, Melo got him by far.
Right.
But as far as the best player on the team since Patrick Ewing, you got to say Melo, bro. I mean, Brunson, bro.
Nah, don't change it.
There's no doubt.
Right.
I think that was a Freudian slip.
You're right. You got to say Brunson.
Man, that's tough.
I mean, the chat is split. And I believe the panel is kind of split. I don't know.
Like, just remember how you felt when we had that second seed in that year that we went to the playoffs against the Pacers. Like,
he had a great year that year. He had an unbelievable. Melo had an unbelievable year that season,
and that wasn't even his best season.
Melo, you could argue, was the second in MVP, whatever. Like that was his best season by far. Like that was an incredible year. I'll give you that. I'm giving you that. That season was amazing.
Yeah, Monostar 718. We said since Patrick Ewing. Nobody is comparing Brunson to Patrick Ewing. We said since
Patrick, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think it's fair that it's been a year and a half. I've never had this feeling when Melo was with the Knicks that I had with that I'm having with Brunson right now.
Because the one thing with that team in 2012 that Melo had, that was an older team. Like I never felt like, and this isn't just specifically to Melo, that team, you felt like, at least I felt this way. I felt if they didn't get it done that year, it was like I didn't think they just had a lot of old veteran guys like Jason Kidd, Kirk Thomas, Marcus Camby. Like to me, it was if they were going to get it done, it had to be right there. Like this to me feels like if we don't win a championship this year, okay, we're going to be contenders next year. You know?
Yeah.
The teams with Melo was never a contender every year.
But that may not have been his fault. It wasn't his fault.
I'm not saying that was his fault. I'm not
true,
saying
which is true because Melo because Brunson do have a better team surrounding than Melo. So, you know.
Yeah, I feel better about this team also, but that's not the question.
Right. No, I know. I just wanted to throw that out.
And I'm not comparing Carmelo's entire career to Brunson's, and nor am I comparing Carmelo's game to. I'm just saying, as a Knick, is he the best Knick since Patrick Ewing? And for those who say Melo, I'm not arguing.
There's no shade at all.
I'm not arguing. I would just say. I'm saying Brunson, even though it's just a year and a half. I know.
It make you smile. He makes you smile. I go running to the TV now. I'm like, oh, Knicks are on.
All right. Anything else on Brunson before we transition to Thibodeau?
Uh-oh.
This should be fun.
It should be fun. I don't know if Ajay's out there listening. Shout out to Ajay who couldn't make it and Geoff who couldn't make it tonight. Ajay's in the chat. They're here. All right. Pretty much every week, if not every week. So I appreciate them. So Ajay, we'll stop the show. We'll let you call in. If you want to go like to the corner of the room and hop on real quick, have your say. we'll let you. All right. So I'm just going to start off with the big question. In your opinion, can you win a championship with Thibodeau as the head coach?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm
What
starting.
a question.
Yeah,
What
I'm not
a
even doing the
question.
lead up. I got other questions here. I'm not even
Yeah.
doing the lead up.
That's your
Yeah,
first question.
who do you want to go first? Because I am not volunteering for this.
I mean,
You know,
I'll go
tomatoes
first.
thrown at me fast.
I'll go first. And I feel like I can because I had mixed feelings with Tibbs early on. Like I said, I was a huge advocate for Tibbs, like his coaching decisions, things of that nature, why he's doing that, why he's not doing that. Like, but then you realize he didn't have his style of players. And once we saw what he did with what he's doing with the individuals that he wants and he's putting forth. And Queen, even you said, the minutes that he had certain guys and how he put Deuce in at the right time to stop a run to close out a player. I feel confident in Tibbs. As crazy as it sounds, he turned me a non-believer into someone to believe. And if you can do that, you can win a championship with Tibbs. And don't forget, Tibbs won a championship. Even though it was as an assistant head coach, you heard Doc, and you heard KG, and you heard Paul Pitt say he was the vital reason, which was because of his defensive schemes, and how he don't forget he was a player development coach as well. So he helped out a lot of those guys during that time period. So I believe he can guide this Knick team to a championship. As crazy as it sounds, and I believe it's very soon, very soon.
Oh, snap. Yo, Delusional got sweeping people in the playoffs already. He got Tibbs taking us to a chip. I love that. I love the energy.
Oh, he's changing my perspective. The organization is changing my perspective, period, with how they operating. They're not as loud. Everything is calculated with the moves that they make. We haven't had a Knicks team operate like this. This is what the Golden States have done. This is what Boston has done. This is what the Lakers have done. They've operated in similar fashion. So why not? Why not?
That's what's up.
All right, Jerrell, go ahead.
I'll go real quick. I think so, mainly because of the stuff, Steph, you talked about in the beginning of the show. It seems like as our roster is getting deeper, it seems like Tibbs is getting more creative with the lineups. He did not do that before. That was one of my pet peeves with him. Is all about like situational substitutions and stuff like that. I'm still apprehensive a little bit, but he's definitely moving in the right direction because he's changing. I think coaches are supposed to be adaptable. I don't think it's just supposed to be your way or the highway. I think situations matter, and hopefully, like his adjustments in game and the stuff that he was doing with the lineups, like Steph said earlier. Hopefully he continues. If he does continue that, then yeah, I'm leaning towards yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And Spree.
I mean, I would. There are times where I say no to this question, and then there are times where I say yes. I kind of have a love-hate thing with Tibbs. I'm not gonna lie. He sometimes drives me nuts, but there are other times where I just say Tibbs gets it, and we're gonna win. So I'm gonna say yes. He's starting to grow on me. So I think it ultimately comes down to the talent, but I hope he doesn't run him into the ground, but I have to say yes because I have to believe. I have to believe he's done a lot of good for me, and he has done something special, and I have to acknowledge he's done a lot of good. So I have to believe that he can finish the job. So I won't say no.
Okay, all right, and we'll open up the phone lines soon as well. Pam.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards this is his team. It's his team. It's these guys is what he feel comfortable. He believes in them. He puts them in the position that they need to be, to make it. So I'm quite sure, he likes the team likes him. Championship is good. Championship is good.
Yeah, I hope you're right. Staff?
I see the reason why you skip over me. I see the reason why. Yes. Okay. Yes. What is wrong with y'all people? Yes. And can we stop with the running the ground thing? Spree, please. These are NBA players. Okay? They are athletes. Okay? You never hear them complain about they don't want to play. Everybody wants to be on the court. Everybody wants minutes.
I know.
So stop telling about players want to run down the ground. If he does not trust you, you're not going to play in this period. He is going to play his best guys and make sure that we win. Now, just as Delusional said, he got his players. He's making serious in-game adjustments. When last have we seen 4 guards and a center last night?
Hello?
A 6'8" center at that.
Yep.
Yes.
And a 6'4" power. Well, Hart has played power.
Y'all talking about the man don't make in-game adjustments and all of these crazy things. Before even anybody mentioned that yesterday, and when I saw that, I was like, huh? 4 guards? That's not Thibs at all.
Nope.
And then I counted the guys, because I thought it was 10. It was actually 9 guys still rotation that he played last night.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So if you watch how he's using these guys, when you're not good in defensive and he feels that you're not good, he take you out. You see, Bogdanovic came in and he dropped 22 in the first half. The second half, you hardly seen him. Now tell me that's not adjustments. That's not in-game adjustments. Y'all need to stop, man. Get this man his flowers. Okay? If it's not this year, it's going to be within these couple years coming. Because I can feel it. I can feel it.
See, I'm blaming Delusional for all of this.
I hope you're right.
And Queen
I hope you're right.
To this. And I told her the other day, if there's one wish that I have, is that the ones that say he couldn't win a championship can't come to the parade.
What? Like they got to work. They can't get off work that day.
They can't get off work.
Make them go in early.
That's cold, Stafford. That's cold. That's cold.
Yeah, man. I think we could win with him, man.
I hope so, man.
But you also got to remember, even Boston, their players played more minutes than Bronson and whatnot. So
yeah, it's not the Thibs is not the only one.
Right.
No, he's not the only one. It's more so like I want to be healthy going into the playoffs. It's just more so I want, you have to pick and choose your battles sometimes. My only thing, I've never criticized Thibs for like, okay, you're playing your best guys heavy minutes. Like, no, they should play heavy minutes. That's not my thing. I get frustrated when, the game's over and Jalen Brunson's in the game with 54 seconds left, and then Bam Adebayo steps on his foot. Those are the moments, Staffa, where I'm like, no, it's over. We won. That's all.
Yeah. Hold on, Nick on Nice. Call in since you have no faith in Thibs. We gotta hear this opinion on why you have no faith in Thibs.
Yeah, I think with Thibodeau and Randall, they're gonna have to win a chip.
Yeah.
Still gonna have to win a chip. That's it. Nothing short of. The Knicks are now championship contenders, and they did that all on their own without the coach. So, but listen, I think we can win with Thibs, but I definitely feel much more confident seeing what he did. And he did it in the playoffs last year, too, with Hartenstein and Mitch. There were some games Hartenstein played more, some games Mitch played more. And I'm hoping in the playoffs, he'll do that with other positions as well. He'll do it defensively. He'll do it, if we need more shooting, play in McBride situational. If he's not in the rotation already, at least bringing him in situational. I feel really, really good about that. I think sometimes the not adjusting is a little overblown. Like when I listen to other content creators and they're very specific about it, I can get it. In this particular situation, this is what Thibs did, and I would have did this, and I think this. Like I can get it. But the fan base, I just feel like whenever we lose, oh, Thibs didn't make adjustments. Whenever we win, oh, Thibs is doing great. I'm like, it's the same shit. It's the same issues, But I do, when people are really specific about it, you get a chance to see it. I'm like, oh yeah, that could have been a really good adjustment. Some of us yeah.
Steph, I have a question for you, and with this Thibs thing, do you think they will extend him after this season? Because they had a chance. Correct me if I'm wrong. Coming into this season, they could have extended him, right?
If they wanted to.
If they wanted to. So they waited. Do you think, regardless of what happens, Thibodeau will get extended?
I think so.
Yeah, because these are the people he's bringing. They're bringing his players in.
Okay.
And he has set a culture. He has set a tone. And it starts right up from Leon Rose, coming all the way down. Because if you look at his staff, we have all the top guys from the capologist that used to be in Utah. He's over here. We got top 5, probably top 5 front office in the NBA right now. And then after comes the coach, where he sets the culture. So it's a whole different thing. And then the whole players, and then just how hard the players work on top of it. So just by that alone, they're going to give him an extension just because of that.
We'll see. I mean, I feel like for Thibs and the front office, I would have thought they would have gotten an extension by now. It kind of seems for me a bit unfair. Like, no, I need to see even more. I know you brought us from nothing, and I'm talking about not just Thibs and the front office, but I need to see even more.
Queen, they say that always a 4 to 5 year plan. It's a 4 to 5 year plan, so it's not really done. I think we're going into year 4 into the rebuild. Am I going into year 4 or
this is year 4?
This is year 4.
This is year 4.
Okay. All right. So
what I'm saying is, you don't think the front office and Thibodeau has shown enough? You're gonna have them dangling into the going into the last year?
Was his initial deal 5 years? It was 5 years. Okay.
Yeah, both of them, the front office and
So he only has one more year on his deal,
basically.
Right.
Yeah, I was going to say that he didn't get extended because they didn't get extended. They wasn't going to extend him first. They're going to get extended first. Then
exactly. That makes sense.
They got to get theirs first.
That makes sense.
But no surprise that the front office hasn't been extended.
They'll be extended this summer.
Yeah, man. Dolan going
depending on what they do this summer.
Dolan going to give it to them. And guess what? I heard somebody put on Facebook today, this is the best thing Dolan has ever done. Be quiet.
Just get out the way. play your little harmonica on your little game and chill out somewhere.
He finally did what he did with the Rangers. He stepped back and
just step back. Oh, let me say one more thing about the adjustment, and I saw somebody had brought it up too. Burks is his boy.
Yes.
And who did he sit down Burks for?
MJ Burks.
Your boy, MJ Burks.
Yes.
Deuce McBride.
Deuce.
Y'all better wake up.
Hey, that's the thing though. Like, and this is no shade on this. We just have so many options now. Like, I love it. If Burks, we have many options on this team. That's why, like, this Thibs topic is very relevant because assuming we have our whole team fully healthy, and that's a big if, I'm hoping it does. Thibs is going to have to make have a lot of things at his disposal, and there's gonna be a lot of interesting decisions, and I hope he gets it right because I want to see Thibs win. I like Thibs.
I mean, yo, we deep, bro. We deep. That's what I was saying to somebody on this panel last week. We have no excuses. Thibs has everybody that he has right now, and we should at least. Me and my expectations, my option, we should at least get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Not saying if he don't do it, I'm gonna fire him, but that's just my expectation because of the roster and the players and how deep we are. Because really and truly, if you look at Boston only got 6 players. What they gonna play them 48 minutes, the whole game? We could run these boys down to the ground. Because of the depth that we have. So that's what I'm saying. I just feel like we could make it there with this team and with him.
I agree. The only thing, and let me just put the next question, is will we be healthy enough to develop a chemistry before we have to head into the playoffs? You know, we got OG in December, OG and Precious in December. You know, at the trade deadline, we got Burks and Bojan. You know, that starting unit played January together, so I don't think it's going to take a lot of time for them to get their rhythm back. But it's not like it's the first unit, second unit, right? The way we're seeing it, that he's integrating the first and the second unit. So the more integration there is, the more time you're going to, need. Theoretically, they may hit the ground, they may hit the ground running. We shall see. I think Thibs and I think the front office and Thibodeau gets extended, but at the same time, I think Thibodeau was on the clock. And
really?
But yeah, I think Thibs is on the clock now. And by that I mean I'm not talking about him getting fired if the Knicks don't get out the second round. I mean, this is a team that was put together through the course of a season. To fire a coach, and this is not even a team you started training camp with. Stranger things have happened. I would be disappointed if they did that. But what I mean by on the clock is the next 2-3 years, if the Knicks aren't steadily moving along, we have to move on. And I always said you gotta, start judging a coach when they get a roster. Stop talking about how bad a coach is when they don't have their players or they don't even have a good roster. You expecting everybody to be Spoelstra. Everybody is not Spoelstra. Every coach can't outcoach their roster. Very few coaches can do that consistently, right? He has a roster now. And listen, there's levels to this. You can have a championship roster and it still take you some years to actually win the championship. But he's on the clock in the sense that season by season, we should see improvement. This is what happened with Doc. They couldn't get out of the second round. He had to go. Same thing with the Clippers. They couldn't get out of whatever. I don't know if it was the second or the Western Conference Finals. He had to go. I'm not even sure who was coaching Boston before Mazzulla. Was it Stevens or someone?
Ime Udoka.
Oh, okay. That was special circumstances. They let him go. But the point is, once you get a championship roster, you're on the clock. Now Malone got 79 years, like that team, lost in the first round. I can't tell you year after year after year, and they still stuck with him. But that's rare. That's rare. I think Thibodeau's clock has started, but I'm confident that the Knicks will win a championship within the next 2 years. I feel pretty confident about that. In the next 3 years, that the Knicks will win a championship with Thibodeau, and hopefully Randall is on the team. Those are the two guys that I want to be vindicated by winning the championship. Randall and Thibs. If people could just get off their ass, you know? But until then, it's just not going to happen. But your
Nope.
thoughts on is Thibodeau on the clock? And that could be for this season or that can be over a few seasons.
For me, he's definitely not on the clock this season. Especially since we haven't seen like this team fully healthy yet. But like I can agree for the next few seasons. I think any coach, like you said, is probably on the clock once the front office think they have a championship roster. And he should be on the clock. I think the players will be on the clock too. Like if Brunson can't get it done, he'll be on the clock. If Randall can't get it done, he'll be on the clock. It is what it is. Like this is it's professional sports. Like if you're losing, change is coming regardless of what that change is. It's gonna something is gonna happen. So I agree that he's on the clock. Just not this season though. I think it definitely want to be predicated on this season simply because he hasn't had almost half his team most of the years. So say if we do get fully healthy like around April, that gives him 2 weeks before the playoffs start. So yeah, he definitely can't be on the clock this year, but for the next few years, sure.
Anybody else?
Hold on. Is somebody got a TV or something in the background?
Yeah, that's true.
Is that me?
Yeah, it's that.
All right, there we go. I'm sorry. Anybody else?
No, I agree.
I agree. It's not this year, but coaches are always on the clock. It don't matter what it is.
Sometimes without even the roster, right?
Whatever. They're always on the clock. So everybody's on the clock. If you think about it, you got, they give you a contract 4 years. They give you this amount of money. 4 years, you're on the clock. It starts then. Once you sign that paper, you on the clock.
That's true. That's fair. That's fair. I think what helps him, and this is what helps Spo as well, is having that tight relationship with the front office. Because when you look at Spoelstra's record in those early years, there was multiple times he could have gotten fired. But because of his relationship with Pat Riley, he stayed on and he was able to kind of work it through. And maybe Thibs will get that, or maybe not. Because Dolan might be somebody who can come in, over their head and say, you know what? We lost in the first round. Forget growing pains. And this is what teams go through. And they may come back and go all the way to the finals. We've seen it before. And he might say, listen, no, negative. We didn't meet expectations. This guy has to go. I mean, that's always a possibility with Dolan. So
yeah, man. I mean, I gotta agree with what Jerrell said. It's not going to be this year. It's probably going to be predicated probably the following year. Because he hasn't had the full roster. Like how he had. Everybody healthy. I believe once he has a healthy roster going into next year without any injuries and we go through, then we're going to see if we need to keep him or not. Cause right now we can't really say, he's on the clock right now because, when everybody comes back, it's going to probably take at least 10 games to 12 games for everybody to get familiar back with each other. And then, everybody coming back 1-1-1-1-1-1. So, we're going to need to see that gel, with the whole team for me to say that how he's on the clock right now. But just as my lady said next to me, coaches is always on the clock.
That's true.
So you never know. So, and, it may need a change if he can't get it done once he has a good, healthy roster. So, I love Thibs, but if he can't get it done within the next couple of years with a healthy, good roster with no injuries, I think it might need to make a change.
Yeah, I agree. And I've been a Thibodeau fan, Club Thibodeau, but you have the, you have the roster. And listen, you have a championship type caliber roster. I'm not saying that we got Brunson and somebody said Brunson, Booker, Cat, and Ingram coming off. They're like, it ain't no roster like that. But it's a roster that you should be able to work with and get out of the first round, possibly get into the Eastern conference finals if we're healthy and the chemistry and the chemistry is there. What do you want to see from Thibs down the stretch of the regular season and in the playoffs? What do you want to see from him?
Spree, you want to go?
I mean, I want to see him experiment with just the different types of ways we can play right now, right? I like the fact that the 2-man game with Precious and Jalen. I like the pick and roll that they've been doing. I like the fact that we can go small. I'm assuming Mitchell Robinson's not going to come back for the regular season. I mean, I think that's a fair assumption. So if we can get Isaiah back, I'd like to see him get Precious and Isaiah back in that little groove they had together. And I like, again, it's all about how they defend Jalen Brunson, right? So, like, if teams are going to blitz him, I want as much shooting out on the floor to make these guys pay. And so if Thibs can continue to say, okay, I'm putting Bogey out there, I'm putting Dante out there, both corners, pick your poison. You're going to lose. So it's just about the little things, just like experimenting, because once we get to playoff time, when things slow down and the game gets called a little bit, they call it a little bit different in the playoffs, okay? That's just the reality they do. Thibs has got to be ready. So I want him to just we're going to be in the playoffs. So we got to just use these next 20 games, obviously win every game, but you also have to keep the big picture in mind. So just think in your head about the things you want to see, because we know, bottom line, it's what matters is what we do in the playoffs. That's all I got.
Okay. Anybody else? What do you want to see down the stretch and into the playoffs?
A lot of the stuff that you were saying in the beginning of the show, and a lot of the stuff that Spree was saying, mainly like lineup changes and the way that we play and just different stuff. We want different from Thibs, just because a knock on him is that he never changes. So everybody that wants him to succeed wants him to change or be adaptable. Let's just say that.
Right. Yeah. I wonder how much of it, and we'll never know, how much of it, to Delusional's point earlier, was him not having his guys and maybe not feeling comfortable enough to try these different lineups. But at this point, everybody that's in the rotation, pretty much everybody that's on the team, is people that, he handpicked, or I would say gave his okay on, right? So that shouldn't be an issue. But I'm with you. I would like to see that as well. Anybody else?
Yeah, just gotta agree with everybody else, man. Just different experimentation with the unit, the adjustments, in game adjustments. We want to see more of that. We want to see the players that could play. Keep the hot hand or that particular five that's on the court, let them rock. Just stuff like you've been doing right now, Thibs. Just be consistent with it. And just do something different for us to, especially on the defensive end. Because I think that's where the problem is with most of our fans. Because we don't do because I even hear Sim talk about it. He doesn't do any zone. He doesn't do any, other defenses. It's just normally man-to-man, and you switch in and drop coverage. I think some of the fans want to see different defenses, when it comes to certain aspects of the game. Because you say you're a defensive coach. So, sometimes I think sometimes you want you to switch up. Some of the things I think also me and you, Queen, and I think Sim also mentioned it too, We need to double that particular guy early as possible. Don't wait until the fourth quarter, you know, to try and double him now and to slow him down. If he's killing us from the start, if you need to double him, double him. Just make the right decisions, as Jerrell was saying earlier. You know what I mean? So, you know, just those are just some of the things I just want to see from him, Queen, especially on the defensive end. You know.
I will say this though, and I agree with you. That was a point that I made as well. But I just want to throw just a little something in there. Sometimes a guy could be killing, and you look at the score, you still up. Or sometimes a guy is killing, and you look at the score, and you know you still in the games. Because so I've coached games like that as well. Like, yo, so and so was going off. I think we need to go double team again. I'm like, all right, they going off, but we still up 8. You know, or they going off, and we still in the game. I'm not sure I want to change things up right now because they're not really hurting us overall. You know, so sometimes that's the issue. Can be an issue. However, that wasn't the issue in Dallas with Kyrie. I felt like, you know, we should have doubled early because sometimes once they get really, really hot, the doubling doesn't even.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't even matter. They pass it, cut, get it back.
At least we could slow them down. You know what I mean? I know we can't stop Kyrie. You know what I mean? Just for example, as what you said. But if we can slow him down and get the ball out of his hands and make somebody else kill us,
I'm with you.
I'm fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But to let the man go off in all 3 quarters, and then when the fourth quarter comes, that's when you're looking to double him. No, I don't. You know, I can't rock with that one. So those are one of the changes that he has to change. I'm just praying that he does. You know, that's just one of my pet peeves with him too.
Yeah. But also don't do it too early too. In that Miami series, we was doubling Butler from the beginning because of what he did in the Milwaukee series. He didn't even.
Right.
Well, can you look at this? When we in the regular season, it's checkers. When we in the playoffs, it's chess. So you can't show your hand, you know what I mean, right away, as you just said earlier. So you have to be smart. You know what I mean? So everybody knows that when we go into the playoffs is a totally different animal, as you like to say, Queen.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? There we go, you know?
Yeah. Anybody else in terms of what? Oh, got a call, I think.
I didn't hear it ring.
Yeah. It rang on my oh, okay. I didn't hear it ring. It's ringing on my
But we can't hear it. If you want to go ahead and answer it, we hear.
Maybe that's a private. Oh, you know what it is? Oh, I gotta turn it off. My do not disturb is on. All right. So caller, if you can give us a call back. My do not disturb was on. I just turned it off. Yeah.
Well, people have been trying to call in Queen.
No, that was the first one that I saw. Anybody else in terms of what they want to see from Thibodeau down the stretch of the regular season and into the playoffs, or we kind of covered it?
Yeah, no, we good.
718-885-16. Call from. To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail,
I hate
press 2.
saying accepting when they don't say their name because sometimes they be trolling. Let's see. Hello? Hello?
I heard you in the background though. Like somebody had the show on in the background.
Yeah.
But they couldn't hear them though if they were talking. I couldn't tell.
Yeah. So when you call in, make sure you turn the show down behind you. And then it's gonna ask your name and just say who your name is, and then you'll be, and then you're on. So yeah, I think similar to what we've been talking about with with Thibs. Just pull out all the stops if you need to. Pull out all the stops if you need to. If you need to put in the defensive team, you need to put in the offensive team. You need to play Mitchell Robinson over Hartenstein most of the game. You need to play Precious over Bogey most of the game. And then there's another game where you got to play Bogey, more than Precious, whatever it is,
7188885. Call from. To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail.
Hello, caller. Listen. All right. That's it. From that number. Yeah, Big Nick energy. If you got to play Deuce over Burks like last night, that's what you got to do. We got it. Whatever needs to happen for us to secure that win, that's what we got to do. Period. Point blank.
Can I just say one thing, that if it's the Big Nick energy on Twitter, that's who it is?
I would, yes. It seems like the same logo.
Hey, when we win in the playoffs, can you do that little meme with that song with A Night at the Roxbury where you have 3 of them dancing in the street? Can you do that for me? Big Nick energy if we win. Can you put OG, put Brunson and somebody else? I'll let you pick. But that was awesome. I like that one. That was fun. Thank you.
We ain't got Dope Soul fans on Rikers. Now listen, I used to work on Rikers. So I do have fans on Rikers, actually. Shout out to all the COs on Rikers Island, the nurses, the doctors, everybody I work with. Appreciate y'all. All right. I think the last thing is, whether Thibs is gonna go 8, 9, 10. I know
7188885.
I know Sherman said 8. I said 9. Some said 10. I think there is even if Thibs doesn't go 10, and if he does, fine. AJ today, going back and forth, it's going to be 10. Did you see that game last night? It's going to be 10. Who you taking out the road? It's going to be 10. You can still be flexible. I mean, if he goes 10, fine. But I think it was Josh, said this before. Shout out to Uncle Fulio. You can still go 9 and be flexible, because you don't have to have the same 9 every game. So it's going to be interesting, because who can you leave out? You can't leave Bojan out of the rotation. So if you think about who the starters are right now, you got McBride, you got Hart, you got Bojan, Precious. If Mitch is back, you got that's 5 right there. We haven't even mentioned Sims. How can you leave Bojan out of the rotation? How can you leave Precious out of the rotation? McBride, yeah, I think there's going to be times we are going to need McBride. To me, and I know some will disagree, not running that second unit, but there's times when you're going to need McBride for his defense and his shot making. Who are you leaving out of the rotation?
Oh, for me, it would have to be Deuce, because I already know how Thibs get down with Alec Burks. That's why.
Oh, Burks. I don't even think did I mention Burks? I may not even mention him.
Because I you didn't?
I did. I'm not sure. You know my condition.
Well, yeah, I must have the same condition, because I don't remember if you did or not. But I think the answer has to be Deuce, just because we know the relationship Tom Thibodeau has with Burks, and especially since Deuce is playing more off ball now. Like, since he is playing off ball, what is his purpose other than, his defense? Obviously, he has skill at his own skill set, but, in the playoffs, in a 9-man rotation, with his skill set, he would have to be the odd man out. I'm not sitting Bogey for Deuce, and I'm not sitting Burks for Deuce either. Not in a playoff situation, unless we need defense. But that's why you said what you said about him not having the same 9. Like, Deuce could be sitting out one series, but he might get burned over Burks in another series.
Right.
Like we want Tom Thibodeau
Or in another game.
Or in another game, right?
Mhm.
So that's why I want Thibs to be, part of my answer before, whether he's, a championship coach. That is the type of stuff championship coaches do.
Right. Coach brings out a good salute, Coach. Appreciate you rocking with us. Precious is situational because Randall will be playing 36 to 38 minutes in the play. If he's healthy, he is going to be playing 36 to 38 minutes in the playoffs. And I could see Bojan playing between the 3 and the 4 position, absorbing those minutes behind Randall and probably picking up some minutes at the small forward position behind OG. Yeah, man. Yeah. That's tough. Let me see what else the fans are saying. Anybody else?
That's good problems to have, man.
No doubt about it.
That is
Yeah.
true.
So true.
You know what? To me,
Damn,
I feel like
he said 8. He only going 8.
no,
Sorry.
I kind of agree with him in a sense, Queen.
I wouldn't be shocked.
8, but then guess what?
And
But then guess what? It's going to be between. To me, it's going to be between. Oh God, it's going to be between.
This is the thing, though, with this lineup right here. When Brunson is off the floor, who's handling the ball? Hart?
Nah, it's going to be.
Maybe he.
I want to say.
Staggers with, because you're going to have some starters in that second unit. So
Right.
maybe
Dante?
with that.
Well, because I was just about to say this is a thing. I want to say Deuce, but at the same time, I want to say Burks. I think both of them might be, just like how Jerrell said, wouldn't you be a championship coach? These are the things that you need to do in the game to adjust to see which player is needed in that particular game. So even if he was to go 9, I believe is either Burks or Deuce going to be that situation, not going to play that game then, because he's probably not needed in that game. And as far as Precious, I think Randall he gonna need a breather, and especially how Precious is playing right now as a beast. If Tom Thibodeau was in to get his boy minutes, is gonna be blasphemous, because he is playing his heart out right now. You know what I mean? And we need that defensive intensity on the second unit when he goes sit down.
Yeah, but this is the thing. Let's just say on this second, and I agree with you, Precious has been playing like really, really well. But on that second unit, if you have Burks, Devo, say Devo's rocking with that second unit, and you got Burks, and you got Bojan and Hart and Mitch, you got a nice mix of offense.
Heck, I forgot about Mitch.
Because the thing about Precious, as well as he's playing right now, he ain't no scorer like Bojan.
True.
Yeah, and Bojan
True.
is not a defender like Precious in all fairness. But if you got Bojan out there with Mitch, Hart, and Devo, or even McBride and Burks.
Well, Queen, that's it. That's the same thing with Burks and Deuce. They're intertwined. The same thing gonna be with Precious and Bojan. It's gonna be which one of the series that we gonna have to use them, and which one gonna maybe be more effective in that game. So, man, it's hard, man. Tom got a big decisions to fill when you see these kind of things come up, because me as a coach with all this talent, I don't know.
Right. And then the thing about it, sometimes you pull the right button or what you think is the right button and you don't get
right. Exactly. So,
that
it's a complicated question, but I'm sticking to it. I'm going with Burks and Deuce intertwined, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Paris Doug. Appreciate you rocking with us. A great coach will evaluate what players fit that game, time, and situation. on who plays in every game. Thibs won the game last night by going small. Yeah, I mean, I think the flexibility on this roster is great.
That's the best super chat I ever heard Paris Doug ever say.
Brunson, Randall, iHeart. Oh, that's the closing lineup is basically the starting lineup, right?
No, Kenny.
Probably.
Yeah, that's the starters.
Yeah.
That's our starting lineup.
Brunson, Debo, OG, Bojan, and Precious would be a fun lineup. A bunch of threes and switch in there. That's for sure. The only thing about Precious, he's not a rim protector, but he's in terms of securing the rebounds, like wow.
I've just been so impressed with his ability to guard out on the perimeter. Doesn't matter who. He is very, very good at it. Whether it's a guard, a big guy, he moves very good. His feet are very good for a big guy.
Yeah, him and Sims. I think Sims is situational. I think somebody have to crack an ankle for Sims to get in.
Basically.
I don't really see that. Yeah. Anything else? I mean, that's all I have as far as questions. If the chat has any questions or the panel have any questions for the rest of us, this is your time.
We can go over the schedule between now and the next.
That's true. We play Boston tomorrow. Let's talk about that. What you're looking to see, despite the fact that we won't have OG and Randall. Yeah, big Nick energy. Yeah, definitely. Any predictions for the Boston game?
Just play hard. Just get everything you got, even if you lose. But just don't get blowout and embarrassed. That's all I'm saying. We're on national TV tomorrow. So just go out there, play hard. You know what I mean? Thibs going to get you already. You know what I mean? He always going to have a game plan. You understand what I'm saying? And just execute. And let's just go out and just shock people. You know what I mean? As we normally do, before when we didn't have our starting five. So let's just shock them tomorrow. Let's just go out and play hard. We already know what we have to do. Rebound, don't turn over the ball, make right selections with the shots. You know what I mean? And just get into our sets a lot quicker. And that's just my keys, Queen. I don't really have nothing to say. I just want us to win.
Right.
I think we're beating Boston tomorrow.
Uh-oh.
I have a feeling we're going to beat Boston tomorrow. I don't know. Something just – it's at home. I like the fact that we have more firepower with Bogey and Burks against them. I like what Precious can do out on the perimeter. KP is annoying. Yes, he's very annoying. But I don't know. I think we're going to beat Boston tomorrow. I'll say it right now.
Well, at least you could put pressure. I mean, he can shoot over everybody at 7-3.
Yes.
You just at least want somebody in his airspace a little bit, And Hartenstein and Mitch, both of them struggle with that. So Precious should definitely be able to be up on him, but like I said, he could still shoot over the top. Who's going to make it difficult? Not stop, but who's going to make it difficult for Tatum and Brown? With OG out.
Now Tatum plays the 4 now, right?
Yeah.
So then he's matching up with Precious. So I think that's going to be a matchup with that, and then of course Hart on Brown. So
that's not bad. And Sims, Sims has the footwork now. The thing about navigating, like when he pops out, like when Sims is straight in front of somebody, he can definitely move his feet laterally. But we're talking about like navigating screens to run out of the key to KP, close out, a controlled closeout, and then, I don't know. We'll see.
So Coach CR617 in the chat says, I hope Bogey goes for 30. I know. Look, Evan Fournier always played his best. Shooting wins against the Celtics. And I'm not saying he's going to drop 30 tomorrow. That's not what I'm saying. I do think Bogey could have a big game tomorrow. I do think I think that's possible. I think he could drop a nice little 25.
Me too. When Precious plays the 5, yeah.
And I think Ben should be a key too, man. You know what I mean? If we could, you see when those starters go out, I think when our bench come in, I think that's when we should try and pound it a little more. You know what I mean? Because they probably might want to stagger and probably have one star out on the court. But I think once that bench come in, we could wear them down and catch a lead. You know what I mean? So it's all about execution, man. It's all about execution with me and defense.
Is this game on ABC?
Yeah.
It is on ABC. Okay.
8:30 tomorrow.
Nice. All right.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, not a lot of Sim fans in the chat. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Do we have enough offense? Do we have enough offense behind? We got Brunson, Devo, not Hart, not Precious, not Sims.
That's going to be the question for every game, sir.
Do we have offense?
Yep.
We're gonna have to get up a lot of threes tomorrow.
That's why. That's all right. See, like how we was talking about Josh Hart the other night, Queen. That's how I want Josh Hart to play. Let it fly. Even though you was 2 for 5 from yesterday from the field, you still let it fly and you was aggressive. Why we can't get that consistent? That's what I'm talking about.
This is true. This is true.
This is what I'm talking about, Queen. He showed you that last night. Just let it fly, bro. You went out there because, I don't know if it been because of the Villanova and that's where you was from yesterday. You was all hyped, walking with Akino jersey and all that. You know what I'm saying? But that is how I want you to play every night, bro. You let it fly. Don't even think. You know what I mean? Jaylen Brown gonna have to respect that game, that 3-point game, and come out. That way you could drive. You know what I mean? So, I mean, we got a chance tomorrow to put up some points, but these guys got to let it fly, Queen. And just like Speed was saying, we're going to have to shoot a lot of threes, and he is going to be a key point.
But why? I mean, I guess, you got KP back in the key. Is that what you're saying? We got to hit a lot of threes because KP is in the key.
8187.
That too. That too.
Let's take a call, even though we're not in the call center.
Call from
Wiz from Brooklyn.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Wiz, you was very clear. You follow instructions.
Appreciate you, Delusional.
What you got for us tonight?
Greetings, superstars. Even stopper, superstars all around. Yo, first I gotta acknowledge the Queen. The Queen is always right, even when she's wrong, she's absolutely correct. Salute, Queen.
Appreciate you. Salute.
Now, let me drop some knowledge. I heard some good information tonight. You guys doing all right. Yeah. But I got to say, oh, by the way, sorry. Second thing I gotta do. Ladies' night, Queens, you are killing it. You ladies are killing it. I was like, I gotta say nothing. The takes are on point. They were like solid. They came brilliant. Someone actually ended the talk. Someone said, "Oh man, you guys did as well as the men." I'm like, "No, you did better than the men." Just to the men. I'm giving you that clap. Hail.
Yeah, I
anyway.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I love that show.
You agree, right? You said, I agree. Go ahead, say it. You agree.
I agree.
I agree.
Come on, humble. That's the way to say. Just say, you're killing it. Anyway, my first thing I want to say, Deuce McBride. Okay, that's it. Now I'm going on to my Thibodeau. Yo, people, I am slowly changing my mind. Thibodeau is showing signs of being a championship level coach, and I'm slowly changing my opinion of Thibodeau. Now, the team overall, there are 11 with Knicks, 11 rotational players, if you include Deuce, of course. 11. So, is it AJ that says eight-man rotation? That means 3 of them gotta go sit there and get some I don't know, some kind of, get some water, get the towels, keep score, whatever we're gonna be doing. I'm just saying you can't have 3 of those cats. I'm talking about what's gonna be Burke, Deuce, and what, Pressure? What? Yeah. No way. It's minimum 9, but I think my man Thibs is going to do 10 this year. And situational, he may even do the 11th situationally. And believe it or not, my 11th man situational is in fact Mitchell Robinson, because I think they're going to take it very easy with him coming back. Very easy. He has to be so healthy and so on point. That's the only one. But other alternate is Burke. Burke would be my second man out. I'm sorry, man. You can't take my man Deuce off that table as far as the 10th player and Bale and even 9th player. It's tough for me to say, let's take my man Deuce off. But I'll understand if Thibs does what he does. And if we get a ring, I'm okay with Deuce sitting there. Get me that chip. So anyway, I'm confident. I'm feeling good. This team right now makes me nervous, but I'm cautiously optimistic, but more optimistic than cautious than ever before. And question about is Brunson the best, the Knicks player since Patrick? Oh, Mello, Hall of Fame, first ballot Hall of Fame, Mello. Like you said, Green, as a career, no. As far as right now, how we feel about him, I got to give it to you. Yes, ma'am. Hail to the Queen.
Yeah, I appreciate you. I'm appreciate you more when you give me that cup of coffee. So scan that QR code right there in the top right. Wiz and the rest of the family out there, scan that QR code. Get me a cup of coffee. I appreciate y'all. Or I can re-up on my seltzer water.
I'm going to CASHApp right now, baby. CASHApp, Queen.
All right. DopeSoulSports.
Anyway, you're dope, man. You guys are dope. You guys have soul, and you guys talk some great sports. I'm telling you, this is a fire evening. Thank you. I had a long drive through LA traffic, and I just had a chance to stop and so let me call there and let you guys know. Thank you for all your takes. Brilliant. Even Staffer, even my man Staffer, man. I will Caribbean.
We appreciate you, Wiz. Thank you for rocking from the beginning.
Right, appreciate you, Wiz.
Have a good night, man.
Absolutely. Peace, everybody. All right.
Yeah. Wow. Anything else? Like I said, I don't really have anything else. So, Jerrell, we play Boston and who else?
Warriors, right? Play Warriors after. You're muted.
You're on mute.
My bad. Yeah, we actually play 4 games between now and the next show. We play Boston, then Detroit, then Pelicans back to back. Then next Thursday we play the Warriors, all at the Garden.
Okay.
All of these games are at the Garden.
All 5 are at the Garden.
4.
Who's on the road again? Oh, the Pels. We played them twice. Gotcha.
No. We play Boston, the Pistons, the Pelicans, and the Warriors.
All at home.
And they're all at home.
Oh, okay.
I thought you said we played the Pels twice.
Pistons and Pelicans.
Pistons and Pelicans.
We play them back to back though.
Oh, I see.
Okay. I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, 4 games in 6 nights.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yo, but then we have, that's looking ahead. The week after that, we have 1 away game at Cleveland. Then we got 4 more home games in a row.
Nice. Nice. I
So
can't wait.
this is a nice stretch that we're gonna have to go on.
I felt like we haven't played Cleveland since the beginning of the year, right?
I think you're right. I think
Did they win tonight?
Cleveland lost, and Milwaukee is losing now, but they're only down 4 points. It's in the third quarter.
It's been a while since we played.
So Philly gained the game.
Yes.
Cleveland lost the game.
Correct.
And Milwaukee's losing right now.
Yeah, but it's just a 1 point game, and there's still 10 minutes left in the third quarter. So it's close against Minnesota. They in Minnesota tonight.
I'm all Minnesota. Let's go.
I'm watching.
I think the Knicks finished third. If we were healthy, the Knicks would be second.
Yeah.
If had we stayed healthy, I believe the Knicks.
Yeah, we would have grabbed Cleveland, man, by the neck. Yeah.
If we stayed healthy, I'd go as far as we might have got one.
Wow.
Yeah,
wait on that roll, right?
We were rolling. We were rolling right along. Yeah.
Yo, 14-2.
14-2.
Yep.
And he just got here. Fitting perfectly.
Yep. You got to think about the 4 games that we lost before the All-Star break. We wouldn't have lost any of those.
Any of them. Nope.
That's 4 wins we would have had.
Yeah.
We got cheated for one of them, though.
Yep, and that was with us being hurt.
That one still bothers me, but I ain't gonna talk. I don't want to get fined.
What was the what was the outcome of the protest?
Doesn't matter.
Don't know yet. I don't think we got that right.
They not replaying that game.
Hell
They're
no.
not gonna. No, they're gonna replay it.
And they shouldn't. They just messed up.
Yeah.
No, because we still got to go to Texas. We still got to go out there.
Yeah,
so I think when I was
know.
hearing one of the broadcasters say we got to go out to Texas one of those nights, so maybe we might play that 5-minute overtime. But I haven't heard anything about the protests.
But the bad thing about it is that you have to play with the people that were on the floor or in that game. So if we're healthy, they can't run.
Yeah, but I think we could beat that young team with whatever roster. I think we could beat that team. I think we could beat that team within 5 minutes. I think so, man. Because.
That was
so
bad. That was such a bad call. To call that, I mean, I know there's bad calls every night, but then that call takes it to a new level. But whatever.
I mean, listen, it was egregious, but it's not the first time we've seen a blown call.
Yeah. I know. It's true. Well, it was the same ref blew the call with LeBron versus the Celtics, they said, right?
Yep.
That Saturday night game, it was the same ref.
He's a young and he brain dead. He froze.
It happens. But whatever.
You know what happened? He put air in his whistle and he just blew it. Because if you saw his face, he was like, did I just blow it?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
And once you blow it, you can't take it back.
You can't take it back.
He could have said inadvertent. You know what I mean?
Well, he could have said it, but you know the TV's on him. He's all
55
flustered.
minutes. Nah, son.
Nah.
Well, they were making bad calls all game. So what's one more?
That won't bother me. But I don't like to. If you, I know you guys know me. I've come on shows, but like I don't let things go. That's my personality problem. I gotta let it go.
Oh, you and Agile.
Like that. Like if that referees one of our games, I'm going to like be upset about it. Like I'll remember it. Like that. I'm one of those types of fans. But I gotta let it go. I'm working on myself.
Wow. All right. Anything else before we get out of here? Look like it's gonna be early.
Right. When the last time we rocked this early? I'm surprised the chat don't got mad questions for us.
This was a good show, right? Steph. Good show, Steph. Thank you so much for letting me be a part of this one. Yeah. This was fun.
Thanks for joining, Spree, man. You awesome, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need one more regular on the Queen's courts because DJ Shuttle. Shout out to DJ Shuttle doing his thing on IG, Instagram live on Mondays at 8:00. So anybody out there want to be a panelist on the Queen's Court Monday 8:30 p.m. DM me at BKSteph33.
And you got to bring it too. You can't bring the weak stuff over here. You're gonna get called out.
Uh-oh.
Letting you know
Uh-oh.
now.
Dang. All right.
See, stop up there scaring people off.
I'm scared.
No weak stuff over here. We know what we talking about. No, we don't bring the pom poms over here.
Yeah, this ain't
Okay?
the pom podcast.
That is
It ain't
true.
a pom pom broadcast. It's
Oh,
a
you-
family show, but don't bring. You gotta bring it when you come
You
over
gotta
here.
bring it.
Yeah, if you part of the pom pom brigade, you're not gonna like us anyway. You ain't.
Nah,
gonna
you ain't gonna like it.
Those people been left.
Yeah, we just gonna piss y'all off.
Yeah, you gotta have armadillo skin over here. You know what I mean? You gotta be tough. You know what I mean? Alligator skin, rough.
East Blue Drew say I was gonna ask, was getting rid of Grimes wrong?
Nah, not to me.
I don't think
Now
so.
what we got back is basically, and he wasn't playing and he wasn't happy. Once he said that he did, he was mad with his run. It was time for him to go anyway.
And plus, I like the fact that we didn't have to give up a first round pick to do
Right.
that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It just made sense. It just if you were going to trade Grimes, it had to be the right type of deal, and this was that. They valued Grimes enough to give up two good shooters.
Right.
That was my guy too. You know what I mean? But
And
you
he's
got
getting
a better shooter. Better spacer. You know what I mean? He's not that great on defense. You know what I mean? But he's very confident on offense. And that's what he's going to give us. Touch and shoot. You know what I mean? He could back people down on the post. You seen that backup he did on Buddy Hield last
I was talking about that play earlier.
You know what I mean?
That play was
he
impressive,
did
right?
that. You know what I mean? So he got a little game in his repertoire and he can take it to the hole,
Look, I don't mind him in his defense. He's better than the one that was sitting on the bench doing nothing.
Fournier.
Fournier. And when Fournier got in there, he looked at the defense and went, you talked about a turnstile. That boy was like, wait a minute. Oh, I was supposed to be over there. My bad.
Man, Bogey could just flat out score, man.
He can score. So
it just feels good coming off his fingertips. It just feels very natural.
He had one play on the baseline. He didn't take any dribbles.
You talking about the 3-point shot when Brunson inbounded the ball to him?
Is that the one where he
that's what it
brushed
was.
the defender without moving and then got the shot up and he drained it?
Yes.
He got the defender up off him without moving his feet.
I know, that was impressive to me. No, there were two plays. I think it was two plays. The one Stafford mentioned that was not a 3-point shot where he was elbow and he got it off really quick. But then the play you're talking about where Brunson inbound the ball to the 3-point line and Bogey didn't even hesitate. He was able to get separation and just fire that thing.
And we needed that 3 too. That was a big 3 right there in the game too.
Because they were getting close.
You know what I mean? So yeah, man.
He's got game. I know, I'm telling you, he's underrated. He's got game. He can play.
And I love Grimes. And I say that's my guy. But the way, and I heard you earlier too, Spree, the way how this team is constructed, you know what I mean? We couldn't take your feelings right now. You know what I mean? We want players that's gonna play and not know their role and how to handle their role. You know what I mean? And you just probably couldn't handle that pressure. Now you're on a young team. You can do what you need to do now. Show out your game. You know what I mean? I always got love for you, bro. But right now we on just a different path.
Yep.
Now, I think that was the key thing is the Knicks grew up around him. Like overnight, we're perennial playoff team trying to win a championship or on the track to win a championship. We need young veterans now.
If I would have told you that RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickly, Obi Toppin, Quentin Grimes, did I forget anybody? Like our whole young core would be off the team at this point. Would you have believed that?
Absolutely. Something I was pushing for a minute.
Yeah, Steph and I has been calling for that for the past 2 years.
I mean, I don't know. It took me a little bit to realize that's where we were going, but that's what's happened. We don't have any of our draft. Who is Mitchell Robinson? We still have Mitchell Robinson.
Mitch, Deuce, and Sims,
And
and they all
But guess what though?
they're all second round picks.
Guess what? But guess what though? We developed them. We
Yes,
showed
and we got
the league how
value. We got value.
Exactly.
We got value. I'm just saying, like, we were patient and we got value for the guys. I'm happy. We just got to get OG healthy. Let's get OG healthy, please.
Right. And Grimes, I think he's still going to be a good player. He's still going to be a good player. We're just on a different timeline. I think that's that's what it came down to. And I know 3 years from now, if IQ is an all-star or Grimes or Barrett, we should have kept them. A lot of times when you move on from players, it's not that you don't think they're going to be good. They just don't meet your timeline. That's it. When the Lakers traded Ingram and Ball, and it's not like they didn't think those guys were going to be good. They had LeBron now. Those guys was just not on their timeline.
Right.
No.
Like when they traded IQ, I don't think I ever talked with you with the panel about the IQ trade. The day they traded IQ and RJ, I was sad for like 20 minutes from the perspective of like, these were good Knicks. But I totally understood the trade. I totally understood what the Knicks were doing. Like, it made sense to me that they made that trade. As much as I like those guys, like personally, they were good Knicks. What they did made complete sense. Complete sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was really hoping they can go in separate trades so we could get like two players, one for each, but they just didn't. I guess they just didn't have that value. And OG came and just changed everything for us.
And listen, we also Precious decided to show up, so that was a good ass deal.
That's true too. That's true, because the Toronto fans told us, "Look, he's very inconsistent. He's gonna look great one game and not so great another game." And I'm like, "Yeah, they about right."
But like part of it too, when people were saying that, I think I didn't. I'm being honest. I didn't watch. I saw him a little bit in Miami, and I thought there was potential there. But some of it was, I mean, did he want to be in Toronto?
Probably
some of it could have been he wasn't happy there.
That's true. That's true.
Well, I mean, listen.
I can't always take what other fans say to it. Like when other fans talk about their players, sometimes you can't always pay attention to just what they're saying, you know?
But if they're saying the player is inconsistent, they watch that with their own eyes. It's not like they said he's a bum and he's not going to ever be anything like they did with Fry. They was just saying he has potential, but he's inconsistent. And there'll be games where you think he's put it all together and he's about to break out. And then.
So why do you think he looks so good now?
I don't know.
The system.
I don't know. But look at Barrett. Barrett was inconsistent here, and he's looking great in Toronto. Sometimes, like you said,
it's the system and the team, you know, that's around him.
I'm surprised too. That boy shooting some type of high percentage from, I think it's twos or something. He's showing out now.
The two players that we're talking about both went home.
That's
true too. Right. That's true. And then and with Thibodeau, you have a defined role.
Right.
Maybe the Dolan lawsuit got to Precious when he was playing for Toronto. Maybe he needed to
Yeah. Nick's a nice says DiVincenzo changed the team. Yeah, I don't think we talk about that enough because that was before any of the trades.
Yeah.
And I think it was both him and Hartenstein, both of them going into that lineup. When both of them went into the starting lineup, he was like, holy.
I was actually going to say iHeart is the one who changed the team. That's when our offense started looking completely different.
Yeah.
But Chenzo gets
Chenzo too. I have to give both of them.
But it started first with, because I think iHeart went into the starting lineup first.
No.
I think it was Dante.
Dante first? Okay.
Dante was first.
Did it, yeah.
Okay.
Then Mitch got
he got Grimes out of here kind of quick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, both of them. You got to give both of them love.
No, but Jerrell, in a sense, you know, we were still winning with Grimes on the court. You know, if you watch,
true.
If you follow analytics and all of that stuff, we were still winning with him, but he was just inconsistent
Right.
Yes.
It's if he was more consistent and hitting the threes
Right.
and just being aggressive,
Right.
he probably would have been still on the team.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But circumstances, you ain't show out enough, so you got to go.
Gets to go.
Yeah.
You got to go.
Dante misses a lot of dunks. That's the only thing I would like if he.
Yo, did you see that sweet pass?
Pull up for a short jumper. Like
I know. But like I can live with it.
Get a man a sweet bounce pass like this.
I actually disagree with all of you. I want him to keep on trying to dunk on as many people as possible.
He gonna
No,
jam.
I want him to dunk, but he's just missing them.
He always misses the dunks. He misses the dunks. But look, he gets the deflections. He rebounds. He's a great player. He makes all the threes. The one thing is just, man, make that dunk. Just make that dunk.
Yeah.
As long as you stay aggressive, I want him to stay aggressive.
Exactly.
Yes.
I got no issues with Dante. Well, I can't say anything bad about the guy.
Dante Lalante.
He's been so solid.
Yeah, he's tough.
I can live with the couple missed dunks.
Yeah, I mean he's really taken a leap, right? We talked about in the beginning who's the player most likely to take a leap, and it was him.
Yeah.
And he looks
he's showing out right now.
Yeah.
So he's one of the top 3-pointers in the league right now, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he about to break the record on the Knicks soon.
Yeah.
He about to break Fournier record for threes in the season?
He is?
Yep.
He on that path?
Yep.
I can see that.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah. And to see that modern offense, and that's the thing. Like people talk about the offense, because it's a read and react offense. The better players you have, the higher IQ players you have, the better your offense is going to run. I'm not sure, and somebody correct me if we're wrong, if we're running a different system when we put Hartenstein and Devo in that starting lineup. I just think it ran better because of those because of those guys.
Yeah, because the pick and pop works better with iHeart because he can shoot. He can catch and shoot, and he can pass off of that too.
He can pass off of it, right? I don't think he shoots enough, in my opinion.
True.
But
Nick and Nice, you know what? He is mentioned to be that, but he's not even in the running, and that's a shame. His ballot should be there for most improved player.
But maybe it'll turn because there was a time in the season when Quickly wasn't there, and it was late in the season, and then people started writing about it and suggesting it, and the next thing you know, Quickly was mentioned in this was Sixth Man of the Year. So
yeah, because you know why? Because I feel that Queen, because the games that he started, that Bronson was injured, so that kind of put a spotlight. I could be wrong, but in my opinion, watching it, those games that he did kind of gave him that extra light on top of it.
Can I ask you one question?
Sure.
One question. If outside of Jalen Brunson on this team, who do you trust the most?
That's a great question.
You only can pick one player on this team. Who else that you've watched so far this season say, you know what? Brunson doesn't have it. Who do you trust the most on the team? You say, this guy's got me.
I have questions. I don't know. Like, I feel confident about Brunson. I don't know if there's anybody else on the team where I know this guy is going to show up.
Show up and do exactly what he's supposed to do.
What he's supposed to do. Right.
I might go with a healthy Josh Hart.
I'm going to go with Hart.
I think it's between him and Hartenstein. Hartenstein, other than him being, this past injury, he's been nothing but an Iron Man, and he's given the same amount of energy every time I see him on the floor. That's how I knew he wasn't right last night when he only played 11 minutes. He didn't look right.
Yeah.
It was a stark difference. Like, you couldn't tell, the energy level wasn't the same at all. And I think that's why Thibs pulled him. Because he started the game and only played 11 minutes.
Yeah.
Nah, we talking we talking the playoffs, right, Spree?
Talking the playoffs.
I mean, I
Yeah.
think Dante's
I mean, define it for me because I'm still
Yeah.
trying to.
So like I'm saying, I'm not just saying even playing the role. Like in a big moment when Brunson, for whatever reason, they blitz in, they do whatever Brunson doesn't have at one game. Who can like say, you know what, this guy's got us. This guy can even elevate and like he's got confidence. He can take us for a game. Like and who do you believe that guy can be on this
For
team?
one game? One game?
I don't know. I'm playing around with this a little bit.
Even if it's for one game, for me, if he's hitting because he's a streaky shooter, bogey.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Bojan too.
Yeah.
Because regardless if he making them or not, he letting them go. Like he has that type of confidence. So
yeah, I might have to go with bogey. If it just say one game, I'm gonna go with bogey and an honorable mention Devo.
This is the thing, though. Bojan, well, he could create his own shot because if they locking down Brunson, it got to be somebody that can create for themselves or others. It can't be somebody that needs to get their shot off of a pass.
He can create, especially if somebody like Randall is on the floor too. He can get his own shot off. I wouldn't see a problem with that.
That's why I say either bogey and an honorable mention Devo for me.
I think it's Dante for me.
Dante is confident.
He's shown he could put the ball on the floor when Brunson, when Brunson was out.
I'm not saying he can do it alone. I'm just saying like if Jalen doesn't have it, I've gotten to a point with Dante letting it go and just being high IQ where I think I can trust Dante more than I thought I could. I'm at a nice place with Dante, but I don't know. We'll see.
But he has been in to close most games this season, so Thibodeau does trust him.
Yep.
So
I hope it's more than just one guy. I'm just saying I always like to know what other Knicks fans feel confident, who they feel confident.
Yeah.
Not Brunson.
Ask me in the second round. I gotta see. I mean, a lot of what we're talking about is, some of what we're seeing in the regular season, some of what we know about the player, but a lot of it is just on paper because the team just hasn't been together,
Right.
And this team hasn't yet to be in the playoffs.
See, the thing with Bogey, Bogey has been in the playoffs and has been the second and third option in the playoffs before for multiple seasons.
True. That's true. That's fair.
Yeah, I think I might change instead of like I said, iHeart at first because I know he's going to bring that energy. My answer probably going to switch to Bogey or Deep Return, one of them.
Hey, it would be nice if Bogey just like has like a really good playoffs and like just falls out. I would love that.
We would love that. We would love that.
I would love that.
Yeah. I mean, that's the question when things bog down in the playoffs, and maybe Randall and Brunson, like who are we going to?
Answer coach's question. If fully healthy, yes.
Yeah.
Fully healthy.
Yeah, I said that earlier.
But OKC is healthy too. Or we just talking to East? I mean, it's deep too. We just talking to East Coast.
Yeah, the East for right now. Yeah.
When you look at their bench. I'll take our bench over theirs.
I think we're the deepest team in the NBA when we're healthy. But we have to be healthy.
Yeah, we have to be healthy.
Gotta be healthy.
Right.
Yo, OKC just cut one of their dudes too.
Yeah.
Yeah. The center, 7-foot center.
Polkovich,
young boy, man. Like he gonna get picked up quick. If he wants to keep playing in the NBA, he can go back overseas.
I don't know if it was a joke, but somebody on Twitter said the Knicks might go after him and sign him.
I wouldn't mind.
I wouldn't mind either.
I wouldn't mind at all. That's a talented kid.
Yeah, and let's have some people on the end of the bench with some upside.
Right.
Thank you. Hurt. Right.
It just definitely upside. Definitely. Very, very talented.
Yeah. Big Nick Energy, who worries you all the most as a first round?
Pacers.
First round.
Let me see
Pacers.
The standings real quick. Who is the potential matchup
Pacers / Orlando.
Yeah, I was about to say those.
Orlando, yeah.
I'll be honest. I don't.
Pacers and Magic.
I don't want to play the Pacers, and it's not that I don't think we could beat them. I just the Halliburton thing. I don't know. I just can't. He always kills us, and I just prefer not to play them.
No, he has a personal grudge with us.
I know he has. Well, he looks at Wally Zerbiak on the sidelines. He's gonna get mad at me, and he's gonna do something that frustrates me and forces us to go to a game 7. I'd prefer not to play the Pacers.
And we had a chance to draft him too. All of that.
It's not that I don't think we can beat the
twice.
Pacers. I'm just saying
we're gonna got him twice.
I prefer not to play the Pacers. It's not that I don't think we can beat them. I think we can. I don't want to. There's something there with that team that bothers me.
Depending on how they keep playing and how we keep playing, we might end up playing the Bucks in the first round.
I'm good with that. I don't want to see Miami.
I actually want to see Miami this time.
Really?
Just so we can slap them around, Steph. Like they deserve that. They deserve that. I want Miami in the first round.
I feel
you know what?
Listen,
as much as I hate Miami, I would love that matchup.
I want Miami in the
I
second.
feel like we owe them. Like I agree with you, Jerrell. Like a point of me is like obviously it's Miami and like they always have a shot. But I kind of want them again. We kind of owe them one.
Yeah, man. Yeah, just like how Cleveland won us.
What you asked for?
I know.
We want Miami.
I live dangerously. Let's go.
I'd rather have Miami. I don't think they're as good as they were last year.
It's after 12 now. Okay. So
you're right. You're right.
So I mean, look, I heard they got in a brawl tonight. You know what I mean? And when we play the Pelicans, certain players might be suspended. So I don't know who is yet, but I heard they had a big brawl.
Yeah.
And I just saw something on ESPN just now, or across my timeline where Jimmy Butler talking something. So I'm gonna listen to that real soon. I know, because I see somebody grab him on his neck, and some fight broke out, and
and Tyler Hero, I think, got hurt too.
Oh wow!
I don't know the extent of it, but he definitely went down. I saw it, and it didn't look good.
Yep, another Detroit Palace in the place. Palace in the malice. Malice in the palace.
It would be nice to beat Halliburton, though. To be honest, like I'm looking at from it would be nice to beat him too. I don't know. It's not that like Halliburton is a terrific player. I'm just saying certain things on the court. He is way less humble than Jalen Brunson on the court. He talks a lot of trash. I don't know. I'm saying Halliburton. Sometimes he like one time he made a bucket over Dante like in the Garden. There was one play where he like drove and like Dante was trying his hardest, playing good defense, and he like stepped. He was like like he gets under my skin sometimes a little bit. I ain't gonna lie.
The thing with Indiana, you hoping for is that they're a young team and the playoffs may get to them, which might not happen. But also, chances are they're not going to be able to play as fast as they play now in the playoffs. Yeah.
And then people adjusted them. So
In the first round, the way this East, the East is stacked. All of these teams pose a relative threat.
Yes.
You're gonna have to play somebody in the first round.
Got to play somebody.
Will you be disappointed if the Knicks don't make it to the Eastern Conference Finals this year?
No,
I wouldn't be.
No. Will you be disappointed if the Knicks lose in the first round of the playoffs?
I would.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
They would.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I agree.
Yeah.
I know a lot of Knicks fans say, we went to the second round. We should automatically go to the third round. I mean, that would be nice.
I mean, progression is good.
No?
I'll be disappointed if we do not make it out of the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
But you know what, Spree? You never know, you might get what you're looking for with that Miami game. Get here why I say that. Because they have one of the easiest schedules besides Cleveland. So they could sneak. Because if you really, Philly could drop in the standings and Miami could come up to that spot, So it can happen, and they could probably come up to the 5th, but it's going to be hard for them, you know, because you know you got Orlando and Indiana, and all those 2 teams are in front of them, and they playing good right now. Cause I think they're in the 8th spot, right? Am I correct, Jerrell? They in the 8th spot right now.
Miami.
Correct.
Miami.
Yeah. So with that easy schedule, and if they could go on a run, they could actually come up to either 6 or 5, and Philly drop. You know, so you know it can happen, and we stuck at number 4, and you know, just happen to be that could be a matchup.
The playoffs are going to be very interesting. It's just there's a lot of good teams. There's a lot of good teams that anybody can win.
Yeah,
it's going to be interesting.
I actually want to change my answer. I said that I said I wouldn't be disappointed. I think it just depends on how we lost in the second round.
Yes, yeah, I agree. Like context matters. Depends who we play and how we lose.
And plus, especially if we're fully healthy, hell yeah, I'd be disappointed if we lost in the second round.
I agree. I think we have to wait and see who we play.
Yeah, it depends on how we lost.
And how we lost.
Yeah. Especially fully healthy, because it all depends on the how if fully healthy. Because that means Tom Thibodeau don't really have any excuses.
I agree. I agree with that.
Now, if we was hurt how we are now, or we still don't have Randall back, or we still don't have Randall and Mitch back, then yeah, everything changes. Then like your expectations should not be as high as it normally would be.
Right.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah. And I think when you look at the games, you'll be able to see if it's the coach or the player,
right?
Or players,
right?
You know,
last year with Miami it was a little bit of both, but mostly the players for me. Like the players didn't show up. We didn't have really a second or third option that was consistent.
Agree.
So
yeah, we just couldn't get those timely shots. We just needed like
they were all open.
Let's get here and there.
They were all open too for the most part. It wasn't like they were contested. Most of them were open
basket and a rebound.
Right. That's why I'm like,
yes.
I want Miami again. I wish the playoffs started tomorrow. We played Miami. It ain't the same as it was last year.
Right.
We're not missing all those open jump shots like we were before.
The only thing that bothers me is when Bam tries to hurt Brunson's feet. That's what, and steps on guys' feet.
He's doing that to everybody.
I know, like that drives me nuts. That drives me nuts.
Yeah.
And he just sticks his foot out and is like he's the big clumsy guy. You know what you're doing, man. Get your feet out from underneath my peoples.
I know. That's the only thing when we play Miami. That you know that they're gonna do the cheap shot stuff and with the feet and go after Brunson's feet. It drives me nuts.
Yeah.
What you think about the Steve Kerr extension, 2 years, 35?
Makes sense. I didn't think they was going to get rid of Steve Kerr, especially now while Steph is there.
Nope.
I know.
No way.
No.
They're not going to touch that team unless Steph wants them to. He earned that.
Yep.
Yeah. You know what? Another point when we was talking about Thibs, I forgot to say about whether he's on the clock. Brunson may have some say.
Yeah.
In
That's
that.
fair.
Yep. I thought that was a given.
Yeah.
Nah, that's why I didn't even mention it. I thought that was a given.
Yeah.
No, but hear what though? I didn't want to mention it earlier too. But do you think if Thibs is not to get a extension, would you think that he will recommend Jay Wright or want Jay Wright to come in?
Who, Brunson?
Yeah.
Knowing Brunson, he probably wouldn't even. I don't know. He don't seem like the type of person that would try to flex his muscle like that.
Yeah.
Or if Thibs, I'm not saying I know he would have a say so, but I don't see him trying to flex on Thibs like that if he disagreed with him.
But do you think a college coach like Jay Wright could take this team to a championship?
That I have no
level?
That I
haven't thought about that yet.
I personally, I don't want a rookie coach, somebody who's never. And listen, I'm not saying Jay Wright won't do a good job. He very well may. I just don't want to take a chance with a first-year head coach. Period. Just give me a coach with some experience so we can keep this train rolling if Thibs is not going to be here.
And I
And
don't
I
know.
don't think he would take it either because he's more a Philly guy anyway.
No, depending on what that check looked like.
Well, that's true too.
He better take that. His wife ain't having that. She was like, I think you had a nice little year off. Go ahead and get that. Go ahead and get that money.
Get that check. All right.
Right.
All right.
Coach said if we lose in the second round, a major trade will with me. Listen, I don't want the Knicks to panic.
Yeah,
don't panic. You know,
Queen, you know why he say that? You know why he say that? Because he want Cat on this team. So the major trade is him getting rid of Randall to bring in Cat. That's his major trade. Yo, Coach, I know you by now, you know. You can't come with them little tricks over here.
After 12, man, you can't just be saying anything.
You can't come with those little tricks over here. I know you already.
He want Cat and Spider, as he said in there. Cat and Spider.
Listen now.
And
somebody said Booker and Cat earlier in the show.
Yeah, I saw
Booker
that.
and Cat. Wow. Okay.
I don't know what we had to do to make that happen.
That's interesting.
Very, very.
I'm not ready for the off-season talk. Like I know that's coming. I'm just not there yet with it. I'm not there with it. I want to just see this season play out. Let's see how far this team could go.
Right. Let's see if we can get, like we talked about, I think it was on the Queen's Court. The deeper you go in the playoff, the tougher the teams are.
Yeah.
Right.
Then
you got to play them for consecutive games,
Right.
So,
and they get the game plan. Everybody knows each other's weaknesses. Right. The teams are better. The offenses are better. The defenses are better. So I'm really interested in seeing what the Knicks can do the deeper they get into the playoffs. Like, how mentally tough is this group, right? Because think about Boston. Think about Philly. They've been championship contenders for some time. Losing in the second round. Boston got to the Eastern Conference Finals. The next, another year they lose in the second. Philly has yet to get out of the. So it's one thing to be a championship contender. It's another thing to advance in the playoff. And so I'm really interested to see how mentally tough this team is under the bright lights. Will we still be able to shoot as well as we're shooting under the bright lights? So I'm really excited.
But Queen, how many changes have we made besides Bo? Well, I mean, besides the guys that went out. So the only person I think that probably don't have the playoff experience will probably be Precious.
No pressure.
Everybody else has tasted the playoffs before.
Precious.
Taste is one thing. Stafford going deep in the playoffs is something else.
Yeah, the team that we have from last year, the majority went into the second round last year.
Okay.
So, but I'm saying with the new addition that we have, they are also playoff ready. So I think they're mature enough. I think,
And Precious been in the playoffs twice.
Okay. So
he has a little bit of experience.
Yeah, I think we got some experienced guys to make a deep run.
Okay.
I would love it.
Okay. I'm not saying we don't. I'm just saying that being a championship contender on paper and actually winning the chip, there's levels to it. And I'm just interested to see, we're going to really be able to tell who the keepers are and who need a little more seasoning as we go deep into the playoffs. That's all.
We always do. That's how you know.
Yeah, right. Philly had to figure it out too. Boston had to figure it out too. We might have to get off this guy right here.
They still haven't figured it out.
And they still haven't figured it out. And I think that's part of why Marcus Smart left. Because they was like, you know what? As good as he is defensively, we need somebody that can knock down shots consistently.
And look who they got to replace him.
Right. Was Derek White there already, or Derek White was part of the replacement?
No, he was there already, but they got Drew Holiday to replace him.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. As you deeper, you're going to be able to see, you know what? This guy ain't going to fit. Well, who would have thought they would have got rid of Marcus Smart?
The shooting inconsistencies.
Yeah.
Once you don't make those big shots when it really counts, time to go. Go.
Clock is running.
Yeah, so you
Clock
see
is
they brought
ticking.
in Drew Holiday, much better defender and a more clutch shooter.
I'm not saying we're better than.
You can't argue with me with that.
No, Milwaukee got rid of Drew Holiday. He won a chip for him.
It's true.
No, but they got him for Dame.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying that he won a chip for them though.
Yeah, no, and I get it, and I would have loved him for the Knicks too. Don't get me wrong, of course.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. You forget I'm the one that advocated and started talking about him, and we had a pushback. You remember that? Okay, all right.
Let me shout out still Knick fans. This team has all the right pieces to make some real noise, but it's a process, and we are at the next phase. We have taken a step each year. That's all I'm saying. Can the Knicks win a chip this season? Yes, they can.
Shout out to you,
I'm just saying, let's not jump off the ledge if they don't. We're at the beginning of our window.
Yep.
You know?
It's opening.
But Almighty Finesse is already off the ledge. It's finals or bust.
AF always got to be like that.
Dang.
As soon as we got OG, AF he was cool, man. He been trying to get OG.
AF started printing out the finals tickets.
Yeah.
He wants Sexton on this team too.
Yep.
Big Knick energy from your mouth to God's ears, as far as I'm concerned. But let Stafford and Ebony tell it. Hartenstein is on his way out.
Who's on his way out?
Hartenstein. So Mitch can.
I ain't never say that.
So Mitch can stay the starter.
I said keep both. You ain't never hear me say that.
Yeah, you did.
I want to keep both.
Yeah, I think Ebony wants to keep both too.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Ebony loves Mitch. Ebony loves Mitch.
Yeah, Eb loved Mitch way more than Stafford do.
I saw like a 5-minute video, one post game where Eb was literally breaking down Mitch. I was like, wow, I love Mitch too, but like Ebony loves Mitch.
Look, breaking him down on the offensive end like he's doing something.
Yes. I was like, wow, okay.
But here, what I think Hartenstein might even stay too, right? One, he loves New York. Two, I think he loves the culture around Thibs. Three, even though it is going to be a factor in his contract, that Achilles is going to be an issue, and that's where we going to have a kind of leverage over him when we call in for with certain numbers. Now, don't get me wrong, it might have another team might come and swoop him and come get him. But if he wants to, in my opinion, if he wants to win and he's willing to come off the bench and be around the culture and stick with it, he will get next. I'm not saying the minimum, but enough where he is satisfied. I don't know what that number is, but a number where he can be satisfied, both parties are satisfied, and we could move on. And that's how I think. Even though I might be saying it's a pipe dream, I already see Queen already getting ready to attack me.
No.
But I'm hoping it can happen that way.
Yeah.
The only reason I see Hartenstein leaving is if it's just a check that he can't pass up.
Right.
Because he's not one of these high draft picks that had a whole bunch of money so far in the league. Like he gotta cash in when he can, especially with the type of injury that he has.
Right.
Like if he's gonna have a problem with that and have flare-ups for not the rest of his career, but the majority of his prime, right, you better take that check. Like I know I'm a Knicks fan and everything, and I want him to stay, but he's not stupid.
True.
I mean, listen, the center position is just not a high contract. Like I would be shocked if somebody come in and offering him $18 million a year. That's just the center position is just doesn't command that much money. Mm-hmm. Also, I agree. Big Knick energy. I think the max for the Knicks is $14 million. However, they can also add easily attainable incentives to get it up to $16 million, which is more than enough, in my opinion, for any center not named Embiid or Joker. I mean, at that center position. I mean,
Hey, I even told Hartenstein in DC, I said, I want you to get paid, but you ain't leaving. And he smiled. So I don't know. The problem is, look, I know how this works. That doesn't mean anything. But I did tell him, you better stay.
Right. But my thing is, with signing 2 centers, to me, I just feel like you got to choose Mitch or Hartenstein. I don't want $30 million or whatever it is tied up in 2 centers playing 14, I don't know, 24 minutes a piece.
Queen,
Hold on, Staffer. Pick your center. Pay $3 million to get you a backup center to play the 10, 12 minutes that's going to be left, and take that extra money and put it somewhere else on the roster. Having 2 starting caliber centers, I think, is a luxury that the Knicks just don't need. But let me shout out Ron. Ron's show is, I was going to say tomorrow, but it's actually today. I believe it's at 11:30. Still Knick fans, know the ledge. YouTube. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please do so. And if you're not subscribed to this channel, please like button and subscribe to the channel. I know everybody who's in the chat may not be subscribers, so please subscribe to the channel. Then once you do that, go over to Still Knick Fans, right? Subscribe to that channel if you're not already, and check out that show on every Saturday, 11:30 p.m. Listen, if you're cleaning up, you're washing your car, whatever you're doing, from 11:30 to like 9 p.m.
Not 8 hours, not 8.5, 9
Ron
hours.
is on doing his thing. Sometimes he rocking all by himself.
Yeah.
You know? Check him out.
Yeah, you can go.
I got to give Ron a lot of credit. His ability to do it, that
was pretty dope.
I got to give him a lot of love. What he did.
But Queen, you wouldn't take a championship with 2 30 million centers on the roster?
But I think we can get a championship.
No. We get one. We end up having to sign him for 2 more years, and we got him 1 more year.
No, Staffer, because listen, there's
I can't have the cake and eat it.
There's a cap. So we're giving them $30 million. There's some money not going somewhere.
Right.
But we won the chip, though, he said.
All right, fine.
Oh, we won the chip already.
Like she didn't hear that part.
Like you didn't hear that part. Like we won the part.
Okay.
We won the chip.
We won the chip. They can sign whoever the hell they want to sign.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't care after that.
Yeah, and you know what? The Knicks can go over the cap to sign players. If the Knicks get to that second apron with both Hartenstein and Mitch, and they're happy with the team, and it's a championship contending team, yeah, it can work. They'll have to pay a lot of money, but they'll be locked into a championship contending team. So, I think it is up to the Knicks whether or not they want to lock in 2 centers. To me, I think I just don't think that position calls for 2. We can win a championship with Hartenstein at the center. We can win a championship with Mitch at the center.
Wow, he even said Precious might leave too for 10 mil. Woo.
Yeah.
Never know.
Oh boy, big energy. You're hurting my soul right now.
But he's right though. Like
you're hurting my soul right now.
You gotta think about the dudes we talking about. Like they don't get they only got a small chance to get their big payday.
Get their money. That's true.
But I don't know. I think Precious. There's a chance Precious stays.
How much money
he playing?
How much do you think he's gonna get?
He's averaging a double-double.
I know. How many minutes is there behind Randall?
I mean, I agree with you. Somebody's got to go. I just don't know who it is.
You still getting calls?
Call from
Dope Soul.
What's up, Ajay?
To send a voicemail, press 2.
Hold on. Let's see.
Oh, Lord.
Ajay, can you hear us?
Yes. Queen, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing? What you got for us?
Shout out to you. Shout out to the panel. Jerrell. First call is free. Listen, first call. I don't think I've been on the show with free. I call him first call is free because he's always the first caller on
NBK
Thibs show.
Yeah.
Yep.
On NBK. So his first call is free.
Shout out to you guys. Listen, I'm sorry I missed the show, but I was like dipping in that in, not able to listen, but I was reading the chat. Of course, the chat is on fire. Shout out to the chat on fire as usual. And I hope y'all hitting the like button because I can't see on my phone like I need likes and I mean.
You know what? Let me check. You right.
Hold on, let me check these likes.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know the status of all that.
We better have over 100 likes here. We better.
Yeah, we need at least 7 more likes so we get it to 100.
Come on.
Yeah, 7 people holding back, man. Come on, y'all. Hit that like button. Let's make this thing happen, man.
AJ always keep us in check.
And that's right, keeping y'all in check, man. And I was listening to bits and pieces of the show, man. The show, good show as usual. Queen, I hear you. I know you don't want to put a lot of money in at the center position, man. But we have 2 guys. We can't let go of neither one of them, man. I don't know. We're gonna have to figure out a way to keep both guys.
Okay. All right. Mitch is injury prone too. And when we talk about Mitch, we never throw that in there.
Well, listen, we love OG Anunoby, right?
Yeah.
Anybody forget that he's injury prone as well. He's injury prone. Like we always knew that before we got him. Like we got him, he was playing well. We went on a street, but OG Anunoby gets hurt. Like he's out all the time. He missed a lot of games.
Yeah.
That's not a problem with anybody. So and he's gonna be looking for a lot of money.
But we're not signing OG and Brandon Ingram though. We choose. You know, it was only one.
Well, no, absolutely. But right now, you know who we're gonna go. We're gonna go with OG because he's in here. He's already here. We're not gonna, But the thing is, he's gonna be asking for a lot of money. Right? It's like, do you put a lot of money in a guy that every season missed a lot of games?
Who are you talking about? OG. OG. Okay.
Yeah.
OG's gonna get paid regardless.
Everybody just get over it. OG's getting paid. Period.
OG's getting paid.
Yeah.
Well,
he can lose a finger over the weekend. He getting paid.
Yeah. I've accepted he's getting paid. I accepted that like a month ago.
I understand, but the lack of consistency because Mitch gets hurt, but he's only getting $15 million. And $15 million in the NBA is like that's not a lot of money. So we complain about him, but listen, we're gonna find. We have to find a way to keep him.
If OG was injury prone and Brandon Ingram was here, I would be saying, you know what? Maybe we need to go with Brandon Ingram and let OG go because he's always injured, and we got somebody that could do what he does. If there was a comparable player,
right?
So that's the difference. That's the difference. There's somebody.
Do you feel? Mm-hmm. Do you feel OG and BI are the same? Like OG's a much better.
But my point is, let's just say there was another OG type player.
Mm-hmm.
I would be saying, no, we got to let OG go because we got this other guy who's not injured, and he may not be as good a defensive player as OG, but he, it's just a small drop, and he's a better offensive player.
Yeah, I heart made Mitch expendable. Yeah. That's all. It's a luxury to have both.
Jerrell, I don't fully disagree with that. I see it. I'm just saying I don't know if the front office sees it that way.
I don't think
they do. You could be right.
I mean, listen, if they're willing to, if you keep a Mitch on the team, you definitely need insurance. And as far as
honestly. Queen, and not to cut you off, honestly, I like Mitch. That's my guy. But I'm okay with Hartenstein and even Anunoby's not a 5. I keep telling y'all that. He's not a 5, but he can play the 5. I don't mind him playing some 5 minutes. And you bring in Jericho Smith, just a big body in there. Just even with his hair, he blocks the shooter's eyesight. So that's part of his defense, the hair. I don't mind having that as part of the team. But we're only saving $15 million. Is that really worth getting rid of it? I would take a chance on Mitch, $15 million.
All right. I guess
I would.
I hear you. I guess people don't value the spacing that we're getting with Hartenstein on the offensive end and just how that offense is clicking. We already have, when we're healthy without Mitch, we were ranked number 1 in defense. So people are like, oh, I want to see, we haven't seen Mitch with OG. So what we gonna be like, one squared? Like what? How much better? We already have the number one defense when everybody is healthy. I mean, I get it.
No, that's not it. I think the point is, so you already have the number one defense. Hartenstein is on the floor, but then you bring in Mitch with the second unit. There's no drop. So you continue to be number one even with the second unit.
Okay.
Even higher on defense. I think that's what you're looking at.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay. I hear you.
Even better. You can't be better than number one.
Okay. I hear you. I hear you. We'll be number one for more minutes in a game. All right. I think it's a luxury, but I hear you. Did you hear the tip segment?
But otherwise, just a quick call. Just to shout the crew out, shout out the chat and all that good stuff. I'm gonna keep listening. I'm driving. I don't know.
Did you hear the tip
you
segment?
You guys got a long one. No, I did not hear the tip segment. Oh my God. I'm sure it's disgusting. You probably,
Ajay,
move like the other side of the pillow.
Please,
Ajay, they said that how they're gonna extend Thibodeau for 4 more years.
Breaking news! While you was out chilling.
Thibs just got an extension.
No.
I hope you're not driving right now. If you're driving,
I need
pull over, stop.
As you go come in here with an all-white beard next show, you gonna be like Uncle Ben. Mad as hell.
Oh God! Listen, I can't. I'm gonna listen to this on the replay. I can't. I gotta listen what Queen was saying about Tibbs.
No, I was good. I was listen. You know what I said? I said Tibbs is on the clock.
Uh-oh.
I said Tibbs is on the clock.
Yeah, but honestly though, I think he's safe.
For now, I don't think he leaves this year, but he's on the clock. That's it now. He got 2 years, maybe 3.
That's a big ass clock, Steph.
No, but this year, though, like this year,
that's a nice size clock. Now, I mean, that clock got a long time on it. It was 3 years.
That clock moved.
But I think this year, though, with all the injuries, that kind of plays in his favor. I think because and he's done a good job with all the injuries he's been having. Like we were able to stay afloat. At least up to this point, like we're staying afloat.
Yeah.
If we end up in the top 6, like we're going to play in with all the injuries we have, I think he's gonna get. I think they're gonna renew his. They're gonna sign him up.
I think the front office comes first, right? I think they sign him.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely. And I think the front office is safe. Even if we don't get anywhere, but the buzz. Just the vibe, the feel, the new culture, and all that stuff. Like the fact that the Knicks is being talked about as a good team, I think that's enough to keep the front office to give them another 5 years. I think.
Yeah.
At least that's my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I think they should have been signed already. I like, come on.
Let's not go crazy now, team.
Look where we were. They were 7 when this front office came. Where were we? Look at me. So what? We got to go to the championship for them to get an extension. I mean, like, what you looking for?
Well, Steph, do you mean think about the moves that they made after this offseason, after last offseason? What if they didn't make those moves? You still feel the same? Like, are you looking at that as how the roster is now, or when they could have gave them an extension this past summer?
No.
DiVincenzo was the number one move that they made. It wasn't the 2 trades that they made during the season.
I think they still listen. I was always hot and cold with the front office. I thought there were some things they did well, and some things that I didn't particularly care for. But overall, even before this season, I thought they did enough to at least warrant an extension, which just means more time. It just means more time.
Nope. Listen, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna say the last 2 trades probably is what saved them because Listen, all this Evan Fournier debacle, all this Kemba Walker, Obi Toppins. I mean, we've drafted horribly. I don't think anybody can argue that. Our draft record is flat.
Yeah.
I think the OG Anunoby and the bringing Alec Burks and Bohan Bogdanovic, I think that probably saved the front office. Because prior to that, they haven't done anything that make you say, "Wow, they're working." To me, they haven't done anything. They held back, didn't get Donovan Mitchell because they wanted to hold on to Quentin Grimes. They ended up giving him up. Obi's gone, RJ's gone, IQ's gone. Like, hold on, that's not good.
Yo, I mean, it's not good. Yo,
No. I'm
wicked.
If I'm James Dolan, I'm looking. If it weren't for the last two trades they made, and all the last two guys,
That's gonna dive on you, bro. You better leave.
But they signed Brunson though. They signed Brunson. Come on, I think they would.
What is he talking about?
To get more time.
You think signing Brunson wasn't up to save them? I don't think so.
And
bro, the man would have stayed in Dallas for $50 million if he can. He said it twice.
That's right.
What is
that?
that?
Yeah.
Yo. You know what?
Wait. I mean, no. Guys. I don't think that was enough to save them. I'm sorry. One great move in 5 years. That's enough.
But it's not just that. It's just not
one great move.
It's not the one great move. Think about where we were when this front office came and where we were at the beginning of this season. We have been to the playoffs 2 out of 3 years. Only because of injuries, it wasn't 3 out of 3. So let's not act like the Knicks weren't a trending team. And listen, I'm with you. I thought the front office could have did more. I was hot and cold on the front office, but I still thought they did enough to get an extension.
I think they started listening to the coach. They started listening to the coach, and they started, 2 minds are better than one. So he says that he wants these players, or this is what's going to fit in my system, and they went out and did it.
No, AJ wants Hornacek. AJ wants Fizdale. AJ wants Steve Mills. AJ wants all these clowns that was in the front office before. That's what he wants. He wants us to be at the bottom of the league all the time. No, AJ, we're not going for that, bro. Come on, man. You talking about they ain't doing nothing. We in the 4th seed right now.
Thank you for speaking.
For the past 4 years, out of 3 years, we made the playoffs. And you talking about we ain't made no significant moves? We ain't do nothing? Have you been watching the team for the past 4 years?
See, this is why. This is why.
He's putting words in my mouth. I don't know where he's getting that from. But as a Knicks fan, listen, I'm not saying the front office didn't do nothing. I am just saying the last 2 trades they made probably saved them from James Dolan coming in and cleaning house. That's what I'm saying. Because when you look at the body of work that they did, when you compare them to other front offices, around the league, James Dolan, he would be fully justified if they were not considering the last 2 moves. He would have been perfectly justified to say, you know what, you guys ain't doing nothing over here.
I disagree, AJ.
Everybody throw tomatoes at AJ in the chat right now.
That's crazy.
Throw some tomatoes at him, please.
But listen,
I can't see the tomatoes.
Right, listen, AJ. There's some teams in the NBA who have yet to move from out of the playoffs into the play-in. So I'm not sure who the other teams you're comparing us to, but there's some. Orlando just recently came out of the doldrums with Banchero. They were in the doldrums for a long time. Detroit has been in the doldrums for a long time. There's teams that's been in the doldrums for the long time, including the Knicks. This is the front office that got us out of the doldrums. Have they been perfect? No. Have they moved fast enough for me? Absolutely not. I thought they moved relatively slow, to be honest, but I still felt they did enough to deserve an extension.
Queen,
Even if
Queen, you got big pundits talking about
you have to
the New
agree
York
with me
Knicks front
because
office is better than all the New York organizations that's in this New York City right now. And that's saying something.
That's true. That's true.
no, how's that saying something? What is that saying?
The Giants is not good. The Jets is not good. The Yankees is not good. The Mets is not good. Which team in New York is good?
Comparing,
Rangers.
We're talking about front offices.
You're not. No, listen, man. You're. I don't know what you're talking about. But
Because you're insane.
I don't care about. Whatever.
No,
You're not making sense. That's
saying,
why.
I'm saying the last two moves I think made a huge difference. If James Dolan was kind of on the fence, the last two moves, like, okay, now these guys have said they're ready to go in the future. That's all I'm saying. So
we disagree with that. The chat disagrees. Everybody on the panel disagrees with that.
Now, okay, that's fine. When you look at our track record of drafting players that we don't keep, that we get rid of, they made a big deal out of re-signing RJ, re-signing. This is the first time we had a first-round pick that we re-signed. Where he at now? He playing up north. Like, none of that turned into anything.
Hold up, that turned into OG.
Remember when James? Remember for years, for the first 2 years of that front office, what were they saying? We are going to slowly develop our players, and we're gonna keep our players. Remember the last Leon Rose. Remember the last Leon Rose interview? He again said that we are gonna keep our young players. We're gonna develop them into champions or into whatever he said.
I don't know if he said champions.
I don't have a problem with changing course because things changes. We got Jalen Brunson. It accelerated the timeline. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. I'm great with it. I'm just saying the last two moves, when you look at the whole body of work, all the bad drafts, all the bad contracts, the Kemba Walker, the using assets to get rid of Alec Burks, using assets to bring in Alec Burks. When you look at that whole body, the last two moves, because the team is in a better place now. I don't doubt that. I'm 100% with that. I understand. That aids the front office. If James Dolan was on the fence, the last two moves, now he's gonna be like, you know what?
If he was on
these guys know what they do.
If he was on the fence,
AJ,
I agree with you about those other moves, but when you're thinking about track, you got to take all of it into consideration. Even with all of the negatives that you're saying, where we have gone in the first four, I don't know, it's been 4 years now, still outweighs those. You're correct. We had to get rid of. We had to use assets to clean up our mistakes, but we had assets to clean it up, and we're still in a good place. You understand what I'm saying? It's not like we had to get rid of first round picks to clean it up. So would you not agree?
We are in a great place.
We're in a great place. I
agree.
So would you not?
We are in a great place.
So my question to you is, would you not agree that even with the draft, even with having to give up draft picks to make up for mistakes, that this team right now, the positives outweigh those negatives? Even before the OG trade, Because remember, we got DiVincenzo for $50 million.
That's another great move. And I think we all love that move. I remember doing the show. Everybody was like, that was such a great move.
But it's even better now. The same thing with Brunson. It's even better now. This front office got Brunson before he took his leap, and they got DiVincenzo before he took he made this leap. So my point,
even Rendell. We got Rendell when he was about to pop. You realize Rendell,
but that wasn't this front office. Right, but that wasn't this. That wasn't this front office. Well, but my point is,
this front office decided to keep him though. Okay. Remember, they wanted to get rid of Rendell,
right?
Of Julius Randle. They drafted Obi because the whole plan
was to get rid of Randall. Thibs came in, he turned Randall into an all-star. Okay,
but
so
my
that
point,
I give him credit for that also.
okay, so that's even, but that makes the point even stronger. Even with all of the negatives you're talking about, Randall, Devo, Brunson, playoffs 2 out of the last 3 years, two all.
Don't forget OG. Don't forget OG and my guy Precious too.
No, but what I'm saying, even before them, because you're saying that put them over the top. My point is, even before that, the positives outweighed whatever negatives you're talking about. You don't agree?
Listen,
I guess
I agree with you that the team is in a better place. There's no
That's
argument.
not the question. That's not the question. You're saying this put them over the top, these 2 moves. I'm saying even before these 2 moves, you don't think the positives outweighed the negatives with the front office?
It does, yeah. Because we went to the
That's all
playoffs 2
Stafford
out of
is saying.
2 out of the last 3 years.
That's all Stafford was trying to say. That, you know.
Well, I don't know. That's not what Stafford was saying. I'm insane. Throw tomatoes.
Yeah, I'm about to say he didn't say that.
I don't know what he was saying. But, I don't know.
That's what he was trying to
That's what I heard
say,
Stafford
that you
say.
were insane if you couldn't see that the front office, that we were in a better place. But I hear you.
No, we are in a better place. That's not the argument. What I'm saying is the last 2 moves that we did, if James Dolan was on the fence, like we're pretty, that front office is pretty much secure right now.
Right.
It's almost guaranteed that they're going to get a new contract.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
If they were
I'm
on the
saying
fence.
before those last 2 moves, it's
Exactly, Queen. If they were on the fence, they're not on the
Yeah.
fence.
Right. If they were on the fence. But my point is they shouldn't have been on the fence.
Queen.
That's my
right.
They
But
should
we
not
remember
have been
2
on the
years
fence.
ago,
Mm-hmm.
right? But that same owner 2 years ago had a Rangers team that did well.
True.
He came in and he cleaned house.
Yeah. That's true.
Okay, that same guy.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so
You're right.
as far as I know, as far as I can tell, he probably was on the fence James Dolan, because the Rangers was in the same position a couple of years ago. What he do? He came in and got rid of everybody.
Yeah.
But what was the difference, Jay? They were losing. They were losing games in rows.
No,
are we losing games in rows?
No.
Oh, okay then.
No.
So that's why he went in there and cleaned house.
That
No,
Rangers
they were
team
winning.
was not losing. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? That Rangers, he felt that they weren't winning. They weren't going far enough. So he
First
came
of
in.
all, which year Rangers are we talking about?
It was like maybe 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah,
2 years ago.
that did happen.
Yeah, it happened. He just came out.
Exactly 2 years ago, we was not winning.
His point is, Stafford, that even though the Rangers were winning, he still fired the coach and the general manager and the front office because he didn't think they met expectations.
Okay,
and they are better now.
I'll give you that little Rangers question. Go ahead, you get your hand clapped. But you're still wrong.
And listen, let me tell you a little something else that you guys don't pay attention to, right? Remember last year, James Dolan came out and he gave an interview, right? He said, he actually said it. The expectation right now is for the Knicks to make it to the playoffs, right? That's what we did. This year, he didn't come out and say nothing. So we don't know what he's expecting.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So we don't know what's in his head. And he might be thinking, listen, I'm expecting to go to Eastern Conference Final, or it can be. We don't know what he's thinking. Right?
Well, I
because
agree
he
with
didn't
you.
give.
I agree that he must be thinking something, because I would have signed this front office already. I would have extended them already. So you're right. He's thinking something, because I'm like, why aren't they extended already?
Right. And I'm saying, if he's the last 2 moves, because even with the everybody getting hurt or whatever, we still staying afloat. I think that helps the front office secure the next deal. That's what I'm saying. Okay, we don't know. We've seen James Dolan in the past how he reacts to stuff. Right. Okay. Another
he relaxed to a lot of talking.
Another good side for the front office is James Dolan hasn't stepped in and pull a move like a Carmelo Anthony. Remember how he did? He's like, listen, we making this move whether you like it or not. He hasn't done any of that. So that's another great sign for the front office. You know what I'm saying? So I think they're gonna get another contract, and I think the last two moves like really, I mean, not just made the team better, but I think it makes them, it shows that we're doing something. Okay?
Yeah,
we're bringing two guys that can actually help the team.
Yeah,
and it makes a difference. Or it makes a difference on the floor.
Right.
And the Knicks, the Knicks are hot right now. We lost 4 out of the last 5. We were so hot. It's been getting so funny. So
yeah, I would hope that they get extended before the playoffs. Like I just don't think that the extension should be based on how they do in the playoffs. I just think that they should be extended before.
But with James Dolan, we don't know.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
We don't know.
You're absolutely right.
So yeah. There you go.
Well, thank you, AJ, for being Dope Souls.
We just got to put it in the comments and
Dope Souls.
Put it on the airways.
Do I have enough to make
27 minutes and counting?
I'm gonna check. Definitely, I'm gonna listen to the show on replay, part of the replay gang, and I will be. I usually answer those comments whenever I can. So you guys don't forget.
I'm behind. I'm behind.
Whenever going back replay again.
Yeah.
Nah, but I try to keep up with them.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. And shout out to you guys. Chat, hit the like button. Even on the way out, make sure y'all appreciate from the show.
Yeah, we had 108. We got 116 in the chat. So if you haven't already, hit
okay.
See, this is why AJ the villain.
Yeah, people hold back.
AJ the villain is I just want everybody to know that AJ the villain is a professional, and he came in, did his job, got everybody mad. Stafford went on off camera. He pushing people off in the chat with tomatoes. So yeah, this is what he's supposed to do. He is a content creator.
Turned his back, basically.
Mission accomplished. Mission
right.
accomplished.
They don't know we professionals at this, bro. They don't know. They don't know. Got everybody mad. It's almost 1 o'clock in the morning. We up there arguing with AJ. Oh, that's crazy,
man. I chat with you guys soon, man. Shout out to the chat, shout out to the channel.
Right, appreciate you.
Awesome job as usual, man.
Already know, bro. It's all love.
All right,
appreciate you.
All right.
Oh man. Yeah. Stafford, what did I tell you when we was talking? I said everybody brings something unique to the panel,
right?
And we miss you stirring it up and bringing.
Yo, Stafford had to get off camera. He was so mad, yo. He was like,
he reminded us of the early days when the show just started. We was like, what are you talking about?
Right. Called that man crazy. He called him insane. AJ was on one, yo. He did that on purpose, man. Like, he wasn't even talking about that. That's how you know he good.
Man, had me crying, bro.
He said how the front office shouldn't get an extension, and then he said everything they did why they should get one. Like he argued against his own point like 3 times.
Gave them the extension. Like, really?
That's another great move.
Right. But I think the better point was that Dolan. I mean, I think that was his main point. That Dolan is unpredictable,
right?
And as much as I thought they should have been extended by now, Dolan is always a wild card. Yeah. And if he was on the fence thinking his range of thoughts or whatever, these last 2 moves should have settled him down. I think that's what AJ was trying to.
Yeah, I understand where he was coming from, but Queen, we made other major moves before and that's what you was trying to explain to him. We made other 2 major moves before that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, what was the sense in even bringing that up? If Dolan wasn't even good with the first move, why would he be good with the second move? He would have been came out and said something or make some type of changes. And look, I'm not a big Rangers fan. I don't know what's going on with them, but I'm not going to compare the Knicks and the Rangers to they both situations, because I feel like if New York was in a certain position and we was losing, you would have been hearing more Dolan. You understand what I'm saying? You would have been hearing more little rumblings in the area. We're not losing. We're not, you know what I'm saying? We ain't
The
everybody's
Rangers weren't
talking.
losing either. I don't know if
Yeah.
there was any
No,
rant.
but-
He just came
no,
out of nowhere and fired the general manager and the coach.
It was
And
almost.
I would never understand that. That
It
what I
was
would
the-
never understand.
Somebody
almost
was
the
in his ear.
exact same-
Somebody was in his ear.
It's almost the exact same situation as the Knicks is now, to be honest. Like, they were winning, they went to the playoffs, they almost got to the finals. They got to the second round, lost. He fired everybody.
All right, so, okay, hold
But
on.
it was the
Hold
way,
on,
it was the way they
That's
lost.
what you
The
just
Knicks
said right
now.
there, right?
It was the way
We
they
went to the
lost.
second
though.
round.
Yeah.
Was they
It
going
was-
to the playoffs every year with that
No.
coach?
No, it was almost the
No.
exact same situation. That coach came in, changed the culture, they got better, lost in the second round. He fired everybody.
How many times they went to the second round?
Once, just like we did.
Once,
It's
yeah.
the exact same situation.
So the coach was only there for what, 2 years?
3.
Yeah.
Just like Tom Thibodeau, the exact same situation. That's why he said that. He's actually right.
So
They
if the
fired
Knicks lose in the first round, the front office might not get a.
Yeah, I'm not saying that the Dolan's going to do that, but he did do that with the Rangers.
But somebody was in his ear, and I think the circumstances with them was he was like the first year coach. He was like a first year coach, and when he brought in the second guy that he brought in, he came from the Islanders or somebody else, so he had a lot of hoopah. He had a lot
And
of
now,
hoopah
and now
behind
the
him, so.
Rangers are one of the best teams in the league.
Yep. But the reason why they're the best team is because they have the best goalie.
And
Yeah, that boy bad.
The bad boy bad.
Yeah,
That boy bad.
so it could have backed.
It could have.
Yeah.
It didn't, though.
Yeah.
Yo,
So, to Ajay's
listen,
point, it can happen.
if James Dolan come out and do that tomorrow,
It'll be the same thing as the Rangers.
yo,
You just don't have to deal
but
with it.
I feel like it's gonna set us even more back.
That's what everybody, what the Rangers thought.
That's what they thought with the Rangers, but it didn't.
It just so
So,
happened
okay.
to work out.
So
He could-
who
he
general
could do this.
manager are we bringing? Are we willing to come? Are we going after Bob? What's his name?
Oh,
from
no,
Golden State?
no,
We
no
only
idea.
thing we're just saying is that Dolan is a wild card. That's all we're
Yeah.
saying. That he's
Listen,
a
No,
wild
yeah, you
How
know.
they say, let's just keep our fingers crossed and let it move. Look, stop putting that in the atmosphere.
Right.
How about
You see,
that?
no, blame it on Ajay. Blame it on Ajay.
Yeah,
he
he
did
was
that.
saying that
He
it's
did that. Now
that
he got me worried now. He
capable
did
of doing
that.
that. Yeah.
He
He's
did
just
that.
capable of doing that. Not saying that he's going to do that, but he's capable of it.
I don't know who's in his ear right now. So you're right, but I don't think so. I think it's gonna be just fine.
We'll see. Real quick. It's already 1:00. All right, maybe I'll see.
Yeah,
It's already 1:00.
Hey,
Any last words, Pam?
Go Knicks.
Keep it simple.
Go Knicks.
when it's 1:00, that's the only thing that needs to be said. Go, Nick. I'll holler at y'all next week. It is what it is. Salute to Ajay for being the world record holder for callers.
Yeah, I think it was like 28, 29 minutes.
Nuts. Whole time arguing. 26 minutes of that. was him arguing. The rest of that was bigging up the chat and the panel.
The chat, they ain't even paying us no mind. They talking about the
College
Simeon-
basketball
the
and centers. I see it.
the draft.
Y'all was arguing for like a half an hour. I'm talking about the draft too. Like I was in the chat talking about the draft.
Yeah, Jerrell, Staffer, Pam, I appreciate you. Spree, who popped on, I appreciate you. Those who stopped by in the chat,
Delusional.
guys want to have Delusional, that's right. Delusional Nick fan, appreciate you. You guys check him out. His information is in the description. Please subscribe to his channel as well. And when we drop the link, Big Nick Energy, Keith Turner, Dirty Dancer, JJ, Almighty Finesse, I would love Nick Yak
Yeah, come
always yakking about McBride and Mitch. You know, come on the show when I drop the link. Coach, would love to have you.
I think Big Nick also got a show too, man. We need to get him on here and get some of his opinions and see what
Yeah,
he
that would be great. Anytime, Big Nick Energy.
Yeah, I'm a shout out to him, man. I'm gonna give him a shout.
Yeah. Summer Singh. Appreciate everybody. Keith Turner, my guy. Appreciate you.
JJ.
Yeah.
We ain't going to the play-in, boy. No, sir. No play-in.
No playing, no doubt.
Well, next time, family, you could catch me Monday. I think the Knicks play Monday.
I'll send you the DM. I'll do it.
The Knicks play Monday. So usually when that happens, I'm on Queens Court, nothing but Knicks. Usually Mondays at 8:30. If the Knicks play, I usually go earlier. So
they play Monday at 7:30.
Yeah, so I'll probably go on between 6 and 6:30. I'll square that away with Sim. So until next time, family, appreciate you.
You tune in, that means you're feeling the vibe. The bell rung, you already been subscribed. Right now, the queen, she on live. Right now, please pull over the whip, no phoning when you drive. Dope Soul, sporting with the talk. First lady from New York, New York.